My YouTube.
I'm just a bit shocked, really. That's surprising. Okay, I finally found the picture I was looking for. Fuck, I had to go through and find it. There we go.
Yeah, your picture's fine, man. You can just be Blue Man Group.
There you go. I'm blue, da da dee da da da. I was green, I was da. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that shitty song in the 90s.
I love that song. I don't know about you. I love that song. That song
I am not gonna be Blue Man. I will. No.
He will find a way. He'll try.
I will. The one thing I will accomplish is not being that. Fuck. All right.
Now you will Photoshop it red or something like that.
I got one. Here we go. I got one. Let me put it up right now.
Watch, it's not gonna change automatically. He's gonna have to leave and come back.
Are you serious? Don't say that.
I don't know. I'm just saying. This is gonna go wrong one way or another.
We will never end this.
Google, man. It's Google. It always goes wrong.
Nothing ever goes according to plan.
Nothing ever does, man. You're absolutely right. Nothing ever does.
Damn, what happens if Google fails? I mean, we couldn't Google why it failed.
You know, I've never heard it put that way before.
We have to Yahoo or Bing it.
I mean, I could Google on Yahoo, but that is just ridiculous.
Ugh,
I'll use any search engine.
Nightmares, man. Night fucking mares, man.
That's my nickname.
Okay, here we go. Let me get this picture now. Finally.
I tried changing my picture too. It didn't work, so I'm just like, fuck it.
Yeah, the picture did change.
It did?
Yeah, I can see it.
What do you see? I see 4 guys.
No, I see one guy facing at an angle.
Oh yeah, I'm not seeing that.
Weird.
Give me a second, hold on. Yeah. Let me go back to the thing real quick. Yeah, it shows the typical one with the guy has his hands wrapped up.
Guts.
Tell me what you want.
Alright, here we go. Now,
I love that opening song. It's so bad.
That used to get stuck in my head all the time.
I love how shitty it is.
It's like, what were they thinking when they did that? I was like,
Oh, I'm not opening fucking Internet Explorer, you stupid computer.
That is the appropriate reaction.
there you go. Abuse Internet Explorer.
It was like, hey, you want to open up Internet Explorer now? Sweet. No, I do not.
Steel couch. Or is it
I'm trying to
Microsoft
put
Edge?
a freaking picture. I don't need a fucking Internet Explorer. Stupid thing. Really. Stupid. Google Plus gives me nightmares for days.
Google Plus is a nightmare.
This is the first time I've seen anybody have problems with it, so.
Hey, it's bound to happen to someone eventually. It has to be me, though. Of course.
Have to.
Somebody has to break it.
Yeah. Okay, let's try this one more time. Don't miss out with browser for Internet. Ugh.
Let's be real, Forrest. It usually is you.
Yeah.
You know what?
Of course, I think you just got to let this one go.
Oh my god.
Just next time.
Google has won.
Alright.
Okay, alright. Let's see here. Because apparently my computer is stupid. I don't
1
understand.
point Google.
First thing I learned in informatics
Just go as Blue Man Group. It's not a big deal.
Man, it's not a big deal.
I think he has a breakdown.
Yeah.
We're already
140.
Here we go.
We're already live, anyways.
Yeah, we are.
After that, he has a new arch rival.
Wait, we're
Google
live
Plus.
already? No. This is so dumb.
Alright.
Just for a freaking picture, man.
Okay, of course, just let
You
it
know what makes it so bad is that I'm using Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 8.1 on 3 different computers, so I don't guess they like each other.
Yeah.
It has to be. I can't think of any other
Use
reason
Windows
why.
10.
Fuck.
Am I the only one that is annoyed by my computer constantly telling me, "Hey, switch to Windows 10"? I'm like, no.
Switch to Windows 10 is awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty good.
I like Windows 7. I want to keep it.
Okay, Windows 7 is actually pretty good. I can't blame it.
Yeah, I thought you was on Windows 8 or something.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, fuck. Oh, no, Windows 8 wasn't that bad. I mean,
I
it
didn't
was,
like when you
tested it
press.
and I
it wasn't
said,
just a bad, but it was still pretty.
Yeah, I just didn't like when you press the little Windows button. It takes
Yeah.
you to
Yeah, with the tablet mode or something like that.
Yeah.
But tablet's not the feature like you thought it was, Microsoft. Sorry.
that.
Well, they are.
What happened to Windows 9? They just skipped from 8 to 10.
That's the beauty
Yeah,
of Windows
they
10.
did
It's
that.
so powerful. It's
Windows logic right there.
And we got from free to 95, and then 7 someday. And I was, what? XP 7? What's this? What is this shit with naming Windows?
Well, 95,
Microsoft.
I think it was the year.
It's kind of a trend, like with Microsoft, kind of. Even with their Xbox, they went 360 to 1.
They just can't count.
This is.
Didn't they watch Sesame Street?
So this is like not RPG related, but one of the reasons why Windows was able to kind of like blast off the way it did and become the main OS for PCs is because of the FPS game Doom.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Because
Yeah.
of Doom?
Yeah.
Yes, there was actually this this conference that it was actually like a Halloween party of sorts that Microsoft had, where they brought in a bunch of game developers to show that that Windows was a viable gaming platform to get more people to like develop for it, and then more people will want to go to Windows. And they showed Doom on Windows, and that was how they were able to convince game developers, okay, now we got to start making games for Windows and to leave DOS behind. And because there were so many games being made, that enticed more people to want to get PCs with Windows.
So a game saves it all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
And it was Doom.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Yep, the more you know.
Okay, so we're starting right now. Sorry, Forrest.
No problem.
Ugh.
Okay, so welcome people to HPMP JRPG podcast. I am Shadow Lee HD, a JRPG enthusiast, coming at you guys here. And guess we'll keep going with the introductions. Go ahead, Forrest.
What's up, everyone? This is Forrest from Forrest Reviews on YouTube.
Okay. What's your favorite JRPG, Forrest?
Probably have to be Final Fantasy IX currently.
Ooh, interesting choice.
Whoa. Game I didn't really get into.
You should. It's fun.
It is.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to go to that when no other games is coming out or anything else I want to play. That's where I'll probably get to it, if ever.
You'll probably really dig the main character. He's a real man's man. He's a real good guy.
You don't
Yeah.
look like a man's man. Looks like some type of pretty boy. I don't even know.
He was a roguish kind of guy.
Yeah, he's actually a rogue. The only thing you have get by with him is he has a tail. It's kind of a animal man or something like that. I didn't
Well,
remember it.
Yeah, I went to first.
His tail is like tied to the story later on.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's next? Nightmare?
I'm Nightmare Alpha from Praise or Purge. Still in workout and still in German, so you will not understand a fucking word.
I understand everything.
But I'm talking in English right now and not in German, and you wouldn't understand anything. So maybe I try to make something in English just because the shit of it.
Hey man, I listen to a lot of Rammstein. That doesn't mean I know German, but I can pick up on a few things at least.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
We
so
will see
Grandpa
that.
starts talking crazy. Shintai, you got us. All right. Shintai, go ahead.
Shintai Reviews. I like reviewing video games and particularly JRPGs, which is why I'm on this podcast.
Souls?
Hey people, what's up? Solo Souls is my channel name, and I usually go by Souls. Couldn't make it here last week because I came down with a pretty bad cold, but I'm here again. You can probably still hear a little bit of my voice, and you guys know the saying: if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Doesn't it make you stranger?
Yeah, that'll work too.
Andrew?
Yo, what's going on? Blandrew here. You can check me out. Blandrew. I discuss Japanese games and video game discussion topics in general. So yeah, come check me out.
All right, cool.
Still waiting on that top 10 near.
That's probably gonna be like a Christmas special. You know, get in the mood for the holidays.
Top 10 near. What's that? Who got kicked out?
Forrest.
Oh, and
Oh, Barry.
And he's back.
okay.
No, because I still wait on top 10 near. It's just more near.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so there wasn't many topics related to JRPGs that came out this week, but there's some stuff I want to talk about.
Okay.
You guys got all the topics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Start this off with the one I'm most interested in. Okay, so we all know Final Fantasy 13, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We have our thoughts about it, but where would you guys think Final Fantasy 15 would be right now if 13 was a universal success?
Actually, I think Final Fantasy 13 was a universal success. I mean, it sold as hell, and I think this is the reason why we got so many side titles, actually.
Well, I honestly think that Final Fantasy 15 probably would have came out a lot sooner.
Maybe, but
Honestly, I think it would still be versus 13, first of all.
Yeah.
I think some of the problem is because 13 received a little bit of backlash.
yeah.
They changed the names.
Didn't 13 get like praised heavily in Japan? Like I know they love Lightning over there. It's just over here that we don't really like it.
For some reason, they like her. I mean,
She's a pretty cool character. It's just the way the games handled her kind of made her just seem boring and lame. Like, and if 13 had only come out, yeah, Lightning would be a pretty cool character. But once it started coming out with all the sequels and all that, then she kind of got a bad rep.
I'm sure all of them could have been good characters if the game wasn't such a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, see, that's one of the, like, the game is kind of a mixed bag to some people. So if it was, like, amazing all across the board and everybody loved it, would Final Fantasy 15 would we still be waiting for it? Would it have come out sooner? I think it would have came out sooner. I think we would have got it probably, like, in 2014.
here's what I think happened, actually. I look at it like this. You got your Western, Japanese audience that their personalities are completely different in terms of how they see games. So I think 13 kind of was a game that tried to do things completely different because every Final Fantasy game is different, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm actually one of those guys that actually likes 13.
Me too.
The thing about the game is I can see its flaws, but at the end of it all, the question I always ask myself, did I like the game? Ultimately, I feel like the game shined at the end of the game when you beat it, as sad as it is to say. Because that's when everything in Grand Post opens up. So all of those traditional elements of Final Fantasy is in the game, but you shouldn't have to play the game, beat it first before you get to experience that. So I kind of feel like that's where ultimately I think the reason why 13 had these sequels was to fix problems that the original one had. But ultimately, I think Lightning Returns and 13.2 was worse.
Yeah.
It did not take the elements that fundamentally the original one had and made it better. It fundamentally took things away and made it worse. Like in Lightning Returns, why would you have a game where you fight monsters and don't level up and you fetch quests to level up? I just don't understand that.
I couldn't believe that. I was like,
I just couldn't understand that. But with regards to 15 though, would it have came sooner? It remains to be seen. I honestly felt like there may have been some kind of transition we may not see with the development team. Maybe there were some things that they had contracts they had to finish out before they could ultimately do a new game. So that's a possibility for that too. So we just never know.
But what about the name change?
Well, it's still connected, so the name change is it's maybe a PR thing just to get around the bad PR of 13 had.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, because right, 15 was a part of this whole what they call it, Novelus Crystallis.
Yeah. I don't think it's even in it anymore. Well, I think it might be, but because it was all supposed to be like 13, Agito 13. They changed the name to Type 0.
Yeah.
And then Final Fantasy Versus 13 got named to 15. So I think with all the bad publicity, I guess that 13 got, they decided to change it.
That's a possibility too. I just kind of funny because Black Friday was recently, and they actually had this place where I went to. They had Type 0 and 10 and 10.2, the HD versions for PS4 for like $4.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good deal. That's a really good deal.
Interesting.
Type 0 is actually pretty good. I like Type 0, even though the camera kind of fucked with me.
No, they fixed it, didn't they?
Yeah, they fixed it, but when I played it, it was like it was almost hell.
Oh.
They fixed it after I played it.
That motion blur was out of control.
Well, oh my god. So, anybody else got anything to add on that one?
Well, let me ask for something. If all of Final Fantasy 13 was like Grand Pulse, do you think the reception of the game would have been different?
Yes and no. It would have been a mixed bag. Here's the ultimate.
Already is a mixed bag.
Well, it already is, but that would even be more of a mixed bag. See, the problem with 13 is that it tries to do a story cinematic experience through this linear, path.
Mm-hmm.
And going from that, where it had just so many tutorials in each chapter, where it felt like the game was holding your hand and closing off the Crystarium at certain points.
Exactly. It held your hand completely.
Ultimately, how most people felt about 13, they felt it was too easy. People was like, this is not a Final Fantasy game. It's just a cakewalk, and then just stopped playing it. So majority of people didn't really get to experience how difficult, intricate, and unique the battle system was once they got to Grand Pulse. But even when you went to Grand Pulse and the game opens up, it still blocks you from doing certain aspects of it until you beat the game. So there wouldn't have been any story to it, because if you just start at Grand Pulse, there's no Cocoon, there's no, Evil Pope. There's no.
Well, I didn't mean that the game should have started at Grand Pulse, but I meant like if the game was as open as it was at that point. The game didn't. But
if you look at the core storyline, though, there would have really been no way to have an open, ended environment. It just wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't have. So it's hard to say, really.
It really is.
So it was pretty much doomed to be received mediocre.
It was doomed from the start. And now, look, it's funny you say that because Final Fantasy X actually does something similar. Where Tidus and those guys start in Xanarkand and you get shifted over to the New World, and then you follow Yuna and the rest of the crew on this linear path through, these little trials, and you're ultimately doing the same thing. You get to an area where it looks similar to Grand Pulse. That's where the game opens up, and you get to do these little, side quests and things like that. I've always wondered, why does no one ever compare Final Fantasy X to 13? Because the guys who worked on 10 did the same similar thing with 13.
Well, the thing about it is, and I'll always say this, is because Final Fantasy X I felt had a better world. It immersed you way better than Final Fantasy 13 did, and that's one of the reasons I overlooked it completely.
I agree with you on that. 10's world, Spiro was was a much more interesting.
Exactly.
But I also think too that the start of how it ended up in Spiro made a lot of sense. It kind of made you realize, okay, this is exactly what happened. That's why Xanarkand's are ruined. That's why these people are the way they are. 13 was like, hey, on a train. What are we doing?
Well,
Who's this black guy over here?
I would actually argue like this. I think 13's world is interesting as well, but the way that it was presented in 13 wasn't as good as 10.
Exactly.
Yeah.
10 presented its world as a way, like in a much more open sort of way. Like it felt like you were exploring the whole world in 10. In 13, it was so focused on the fact that you were on the run the whole time. It didn't really give you a sensation that you were exploring the whole world. It just made you feel like you were going into these areas not because you wanted to go there, but because the game is like, look, these characters are not doing this because they want to, they have to, and it's like it didn't feel right. It didn't feel good.
Yeah.
You know, it's an interesting point. And ultimately, the decision comes down to: have they learned from their mistakes of these trilogies, and will 15 fix the problems? That's the important
I
point.
hope it does. I
Well-
mean, I really. God.
Well, 15 is being made by a different team.
That's true, but here's the thing, though. Maybe a different team, but we're talking about core history roots, and ultimately, these decisions can flow over to this game. Because you got to remember, if these were all part of this intricate, was it Type 0, and then this game, and then
Yeah.
13 trilogy, there was some formulas that were supposed to cross over.
Yeah, it's supposed to be one big thing, like one big
Yeah.
world and one big story being told. But
But like I said, different people working on it. Hopefully now that it'll go through. I mean, the demo looked interesting. It looked promising. I mean, I liked it ultimately.
The
It
demo didn't feel anything like 13 at all.
No, it doesn't.
No,
and
it
that,
doesn't. It
and
doesn't
that
at all.
in itself is a promising thing. I am excited for the game, though. I haven't been excited for Final Fantasy games since 13, sadly.
unfortunately, 13 to me was supposed to be like my savior to JRPGs, and it just didn't. It didn't do that at all.
Mm,
One thing I
just
did
saying-
like about 13 was the voice acting. I really did enjoy that.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I would say ultimately my favorite character though was Saz in Vanille. You know that part in the game
yeah.
where I don't particularly think Vanilla's voice acting was great, but what I think about Saz and Vanille was, you remember, Saz son was trying to get his son, obviously. Son was in danger, and of course, Vanille had something to do with it. For those who played the game already, would know what I'm talking about. They had that connection when they was going through that area in Chapter 7 of the game, and I feel like you finally understood Vanille for once, and you understood where Saz was coming from. So ultimately, I found that to be kind of like that father-daughter relationship thing that you could tell that there was, okay, she did something wrong, but ultimately that started to make her a better person, I think. So.
I just thought she was eye candy.
Okay.
All right. So, any last thoughts before I go on to the next topic? Oh crap!
No, let's just close 13. I mean, I think we talked about it enough.
I hope we
Yeah,
can.
like
I
every
hope we
episode
can.
talk about.
Yeah, I hope we start doing this not again. This is officially now a non-theme. Okay.
Okay, so what do you guys think the best leveling system is in a JRPG?
For me, I like to say it'd have to be Manichemia for me, because it wasn't your average leveling system. Like in most games, I hate crafting, but in that game, I was addicted to it. You learn your skills through that way. You get better weapons, and I just love that system.
Soul, you're my kind of guy.
That's interesting. I didn't think about Monachemia. Yeah,
Because
that game.
at first, a lot of people was like kind of surprised and puzzled about like, how do I level up? How do I get stronger? But you have to craft in that game to get through a lot of bosses and stuff.
Well, it's also you have to do a lot of farming, get a lot
Farming,
of items
yeah.
and whatnot.
And that's like I haven't been addicted to like doing any of that type of stuff in any other game but that one. Usually it's like a grind and a bore, but no, that one it really took it from me.
It's unique.
Yeah, it is. Very.
So aren't the Atelier games pretty much the same.
Not
Yeah, but they're
different.
they're
They don't
a
have
little
the
bit different.
they don't have the same level up system.
No, they don't.
They're a
They
little more
don't.
traditional.
Yeah, they do it by EXP and all that.
But you still gotta use a crafting system to make weapons and whatnot. And
Yes.
Yeah, for the main
yes,
character.
You still do. That formula never got changed. I mean that core element's still there. It's just that they go about a basic leveling up system in the game.
Yeah.
Atelier Iris 1 and 2 especially are pretty standard in that regard. I think 2 had like a weapon crafting tree, which was pretty cool. I haven't played the third one, so I can't comment on.
Third one was the best one.
I haven't played that one yet. But 1 and 2 were more traditional. Not bad. They were still good, fun games. But Monokemi is where they were like, let's do something different. Let's like take this in a new direction.
It was ultimately a good game though. Like Monokemi, to me, I liked it. That and
it enjoyed the game.
I never actually got to playing the rest of the games, except for Monokemi 1 and 2.
Monokemi 2.
Yeah.
I think it was called Alchemist of Alrevis. How do you pronounce it?
Alrevis.
Yeah.
Alrevis, yeah.
PS2, PSP. I forgot.
The first
they both actually came out on PS2 and PSP, just that the second one never got localized for PSP.
Yeah, I was mad about that.
The problem with the first Monokemi on the PSP, because I actually own it, it's very buggy, very glitchy, very slow, because I guess the PSP can't handle it.
Yeah.
It's not the best version, I can tell you that.
It's not. I don't even think they do any voice acting for the battles.
They cut out.
Yeah, they left them out.
That's
Apparently, they
terrible.
said when they left them in, whenever they would do voice, it would actually crash the system.
Dang.
So they had to take it out.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Stick to the PS2 version.
Forrest, what's your favorite leveling system?
This might be surprising. I thought about it prior to the start of this, but I'm gonna have to go back to a game that it was the first game in the JRPG lineup that I ever played growing up. It actually had to be the Materia System 7.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I mean, yeah. Ultimately, it's not the greatest leveling up system, but for me, I actually had so much fun playing that game because I beat 7 multiple times, probably 5 or 6 times, and I liked how each materia you equipped to your character actually affected their stats in different ways, whether they increased their HP or affected their MP differently. And I don't know, to me that game, I had a connection with it. And even though there are more, intricate leveling up systems than any other JRPGs have come out past that, that one still, regards to me as one of my favorite leveling up systems because it was simple. It was easy to understand. It was user friendly, and it was a game that anyone could get into and understand it when they play it. That's how I felt. More streamlined leveling up system to me.
I agree. It's really good.
Sure. Then 8 came out and just completely, what the fuck happened there?
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny. I bought FF8, played it, went to a little area in the school where I didn't equip anything to where I could use an item or draw magic, and I died. And I was just like, well, this is not like 7.
It definitely is not, but I like it because it's so different in that it wants you to not fight. It wants you that you are on a low level. It actually rewards you with no experience of the boss fights, and I find this very interesting actually. It's something different.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Blander?
All right, I don't really have like a favorite leveling up system because most RPGs I play are just beat this enemy and level up. But if I had to pick one, it would probably be Final Fantasy X because I really like that you can like go to different parts of the grid and customize your character to your liking. So that was a really good one for me. I just don't like going out and collecting all this and then fusing it together and then eating it or whatever. Nah, I can't do that.
The thing about 10 for me was that I kind of thought that you can go any way you wanted with it when you were playing the story, but I figured out the hard way that you can't really do that because we're going to have some problems with the bosses later down the line because I had Tidus I had him go on the path of Lulu's grid. I unlocked her. Yeah, I was stupid back then. Now also, I was like, I should have known that Titus was not a magic nuke. He can't be. But yeah, I tried to do that, and I had so much problems because I needed haste and haste grow, whatever it was called, and I didn't have that. So Seymour, anytime I encountered Seymour, I got my ass handed to me a lot.
Damn it, that guy doesn't want to die. I mean, I killed that guy 3 times, and he still stood up again and fighted me. What the fuck? Death in Final Fantasy X is just a minor inconvenience.
Orin is such a badass. He gets killed, and all it did was piss him off.
Okay. Yeah, Orin reminds me a lot of what's his name from Tales of Symphonia? I forgot his name. Kratos?
Yeah, Kratos.
Yeah, Kratos. Yeah, he reminds me a lot of him.
Kratos is fucking awesome.
All right. Shentai?
I mentioned it last time. I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna fuck who says otherwise. Tales of Graces F's title system is amazing.
Oh yeah, that is pretty awesome. I do love that.
It is amazing. I never felt so much freedom when I was leveling up my characters. I could choose what skills I wanted to level up, and how my characters grew. Like, I've said this to other people, but like by the time I get to the end of the game, the way that I've set up my party and how they've leveled up is going to be very different from how you do it, because we all have our own play styles and the way you want your characters to grow. Like, I'm very much focused on like buffs and stuff, and then I focus on getting skills later. And when I do get skills, I prefer to get like the lower end skills first, so I can get the higher end skills later. But other people are different. They want to get the higher end skills first, and they don't care about buffs. And it's just like different ways of playing the game and how you want your characters to grow. And it's fast and fun, and you can customize it however you want. If you want to, you can even completely ignore it and allow the AI to just do it for you and level up for you. But I'm not like that. I make sure that I have it on manual, and I level up how I want it, so I have complete control.
I can't even remember it that font. I don't remember if I actually went at it like as customizable as you did. But
I like to throw in that that's the best way to get costumes. I really love getting costumes that way.
Well, it's funny you say that, because Final Fantasy IX did something similar to that too, where you had to level up that equipment items you had equipped, and I learned that the hard way playing that game. Going back, playing it the second time, and actually, mastering those abilities on those items rewarded you with other abilities. So, I don't know why I didn't think about that when playing Graces F.
Yeah, that was a cool little system.
Yeah.
Actually, Vesperia had a more similar system to what 9 had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where basically like all the weapons that you get and like your equipment have skills that the more you use that sword or whatever in battle, it'll start getting like ability points, and when you fill it up, you learn the skill permanently.
Isn't like Tales of Zestiria also doing something like that?
Tales of Zestiria is kind of weird to me. I don't like their system.
I don't care for it at all either. I'm like, I don't understand this.
I don't need it's like too complicated or something.
It looks simple.
What
look at it.
What I think they did was they tried to incorporate Graces F while making something new. Whether or not it works is up to that person playing it.
I don't think it works. I don't.
Me neither. I don't really like care about it at all.
I don't personally think it's dreadful. I just I'm playing the game and I'm not really caring for it. It's like, okay, you know how sometimes like we're talking about right now what we like about this certain game or that game. I'm not getting a vibe of me wanting to even remember it when I beat it. It's like, okay, cool, whatever. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Well, with Zestiria's, I'm a bit mixed. Like the way that you get new skills is tied to your titles, but there's like no real thought put into it. Like
it isn't.
You just equip a title, and it says like you're gonna get this move, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess.
And then they
you-
all give you the same, like a couple of titles give you the same skill. It's no like variety in them at all.
there's no real thought put into it,
It's not, yeah.
which is kind of disappointing.
It's a mixed up game. I feel like.
What about
Sometimes I don't even know what to
board?
equip.
I like the skill board.
I can't understand it for nothing. I'm like, what? Am I equipping different things to get different benefits? I don't.
Sometimes I feel like I'm equipping something weaker just to make the board look better.
Yeah, I swear that's what I'm doing too. I'm like, okay, this looks pretty good, but
I'm just like doubling up the same item just to get a buffer ability on the single item I have.
Yeah, like I'm using a weak item just to get the stars maxed out or something.
yeah,
like
that's
a
what I was
buffet.
doing too. I was just using every weapon and just like maybe I'll fuse it with another one of the same name later. But
Yeah.
I don't feel it's like needed unless you play on the really hard difficulties.
The way I would describe Zestiria's like, I guess, development systems is confused.
Yeah, he didn't know what it wanted to be.
Like I don't think it's bad because I mean it doesn't break the game or anything. I don't think it like really negatively affects the game as a whole or anything. And I do think there are some aspects of it that are pretty good, but overall, like I don't. It just feels a bit muddled, and I feel like they should have put more effort into making it better.
Yeah, it's really not. I say it's well thought out, but it's just not. It's just confusing as hell.
I wouldn't say rushed, but I do ultimately feel like that game did not have enough polish when it comes to the battle system in general.
Yeah.
I think the battle system is fine. It's just that sometimes the camera just really makes me mad.
Yeah, I think it's just the
I
camera.
really do
I'm gonna
too,
rip
yeah.
that a new asshole when I review.
Especially when
Well,
you're in one of those dungeons, like the little enclosed ones. Like,
that helped me enjoy the game a little bit more.
Yeah,
Where are you guys at?
The camera's my only issue with the combat.
Where are you guys at in this area?
To resolve the problem with the camera by using free in that ability, where it just basically switches the way your character moves on the field. Instead of being in that straight line, it just freely moves around. The camera actually moves back.
It still doesn't help because when you're in a dungeon and
It helps me.
even when you're up against a wall in the field or like a rock or something like that, it like
Yeah.
just totally goes out of control.
Like, why would they make such dungeons
They
narrow? If the
program
camera's
the
like
camera to just go behind walls and make it invisible. That's what they should have
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, that's what it should
Yeah,
be. I
that's-
don't know who was
yeah.
testing this game and was like, oh, this is fine the way it is. We can just give it out like that. I'm
you
like,
get
I'm pretty
behind
sure.
the back of a character and you can't see nothing. Like, I don't even know if I'm hitting anybody.
Yeah, I'm just button mashing at that point. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure this enemy is
Exactly.
in front of me, so I'm just gonna keep.
Yeah.
Well, I think we also have to look at it from a developer's perspective because let's think about this for a minute. How many games can you think of where the camera actually phases through walls and stuff and then makes the walls invisible? That's not really a common thing. Most of the time, the camera gets caught up in the geometry of a level. So there must be a reason why that's the case. And if I have to gather a guess, it's because actually inputting the code to make it so that whenever the camera collides with the level geometry, and then having them have to make a workaround for it, that's not easy. That's probably something that's really difficult to code. And when it does get through the game geometry, then they have to lower they have to put the transparency of the walls or whatever that's in the way in order for you to see. So all of that is probably a huge pain in the ass in terms of trying to code the game, because it's not just like one instance here and there where it happens. It's something that happens a lot. So
Especially when it's like real-time battles.
yes.
Like, you could battle anywhere on the map. But the thing is, they could have did at least was, I guess, not make the stages of the map so narrow at times. Like,
Yeah,
because
it's like
if they-
when you go
if
into a
the thing
cave,
was
it's all
like that-
narrow as hell. It's like if I
Yeah.
get in between a door or something like that, I know
Again,
the
as I
battle's
like
gonna
to
be.
call it, delaying the game.
Yeah, that kind of
could've.
probably would have happened.
I wouldn't have minded.
I wouldn't have minded either. To me, if you're gonna make a game and you're gonna make it the best of your ability, even if you have to delay it a few months to fix a little problems
Yeah.
here or there, I would have been okay with that.
Yeah, I wasn't heavily anticipating Zestiria anyway.
Me neither. That's why I got it on PC.
But quick thing, where is everybody in Zestiria?
I'm at the part where I just got done fighting that knight guy. You know, with the.
Okay.
what's
You
his
haven't
name
made
by
it to the
itself?
Water Temple yet.
No.
I've actually done the Fire Temple and was on my way to
Oh, wait,
the
wait,
Water
wait.
Temple.
Yeah, I did that first little Are you guys talking about the dungeon that's kind of like the way Colosseums are? You know, like how when you go to like a tournament thing, when you use one character to fight a bunch of horde of monsters.
No,
that's
no,
a
no, no,
different
no,
thing.
Oh, okay,
no,
okay,
no.
okay.
Those are you spot them throughout the world, but no.
Yeah, I went to the first one of that.
Okay, so that's.
I didn't even want to change that. I said, you know what? I'll do this later.
Yeah, I was like, I'll do it at the end when I beat the game, and I'll just come
It
back.
actually wasn't that hard for the first one.
Well, no, the first one that the
Let's
game
do it.
gives you when you find it in that first area,
Mhm.
that one I heard is not too difficult. But there's these other ones though.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. But no, but I heard the water temple was like the
A
most.
pain in the ass? Yes.
Yeah, I heard it's the
Oh
most,
my god.
insano dungeon in any Tales game ever made so far.
It's stupid. It's like, if I didn't have patience, I would have said, you know what, fuck this, I ain't got time for this. I'm going on to the next game. Forget this. Where's Xenoblade Chronicles X? I'm done.
One of the YouTubers on YouTube, Swordfish1390, mentioned it before, where he said that you have to like teleport yourself or make yourself invisible, but you can't run that fast. You have to time it precisely, and then
Yeah.
you get caught. You have to do the whole thing over.
You gotta go all the way back to the beginning of the dungeon. I'm like, are you even kidding me? Who the hell thought this was okay? You don't do this in a JRPG. You don't do this in the game at all.
Mm. And
I haven't gotten that far yet. I only just got Rose in my party.
Damn, dude. You rare.
I haven't played it as much as I would have liked, and a big reason for that is because I dropped Dark Souls 2 in favor of it, and I felt really anxious about that because when I was playing Zestiria, I kept having that in the back of my head, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to go back to Dark Souls 2. But
Speaking of...
That's purple.
Oh, go ahead.
But the thing is, I'm at a point in Dark Souls 2 where the game revealed to me, like, oh, wait a minute, here are the rest of the bonfires that you haven't activated yet. And I thought I was getting close to the end of the game. Turns out I'm only halfway. And now I'm like, well, fuck this shit, I'm going back to Zestiria.
Hey, speaking of Rose and Zestiria, was anyone else disappointed of how, like, you know, Rose seemed to be this cool, like, ninja type character, only to find that she's, like, being controlled by that wind seraph at night?
I really didn't mind it because her whole personality is pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
I like her way more than Alicia.
Yeah, I definitely do too. Yeah, I just thought that she'd be a little more mysterious as she was like when you didn't know it was her.
She's a little bit goofy, but I feel like her character made up for it. Lila is still the best girl.
I like Lila. She is my favorite character too.
Oh God, I love Lila.
Yeah, no, I think Rose is a good character. You know, it's funny. I can't put my finger on the cast of Zestiria just yet of how I ultimately feel.
Yeah, me too.
I still think because Exilia 1 and 2 has such a long story that the characters were just so developed when you beat the second game. I fundamentally feel like that game has the best developed characters and the best the overall just.
It's got 2 games underneath it, so that's
right. It's got 2 games underneath it, so everything about those characters are more developed and more tweaked out. This one, some of the voice actors are new.
I like the voice actors.
I like the voice actors in this one.
I have no problems with the voice
No. I don't have any problem with the voice acting, but what I mean is like when you have these new people who are talking these voices for the first time. When the Xenoblade 1 and 2, you know, were over the course of a couple of years, they got more attuned to their role. And I mean,
I will say this: those cutscenes in Zestiria are awesome.
Yes,
I love.
Yeah, dude, they look really good. I think the cutscenes in Exilia was a little bit better. They had like a lot more fight scenes.
I actually like them better in Zestiria. The fight scenes are looking pretty epic.
My only issue, and I think Shintai might have brought this up once before, I feel like sometimes the in-game cutscenes are a little bit weird.
And what, Zestiria?
Quite as polished as they did in Exilia 1 or 2. Like they're trying new camera perspectives when doing these little cutscenes or whatever, and I was playing it for a while. And some of them are good, some of them are not so good.
Yeah, it does feel like they were experimenting because like everything flows into one thing.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like, I'm talking about like the animated cutscenes though. I
No, the
really
anime
like those.
cutscenes are fine. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
come on, man.
I love them. Chill.
You
I
can't
love
go
them.
wrong with you.
That's
I
fucking
mean,
ufotable right there,
Yeah,
man.
Exactly.
they do the best
Yeah.
things.
I mean,
Fate Stay Night
great.
stuff.
Yes!
Fate
I
Zero.
don't think
Fate Zero.
I don't think Fate Zero looked as good, but hey, it's okay.
What?
Don't
It's a
just
joke,
don't even
by
go
the
there.
way.
Oh my god.
I was about to say.
Okay.
Please don't start with it.
Okay.
Anybody?
so-
Oh well. Okay. Good. I'm about to go off topic, but no. I was about to talk about God Eater, but no, never mind.
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I will go here. Okay. Nightmare. I don't think you went.
Well, I think the problem is that I like a leveling system that gives me just XP. That's not a problem, but I think the ways we gather XP is a little bit weird in JRPGs because the only thing you get XP is for fighting monsters. But what about escaping from monsters or doing stealth sections and something like that? Why don't I get XP for something like that? That is what I really miss in these games because escaping a monster is a hard task. If you escape from a dragon, that is a task you must master because did you run away from a dragon someday? It's a flying scaled monster that breathes fire. If you can get away from that, you own XP actually.
Well, you would even if it did, you probably wouldn't get that much as you would as fighting it and beating it.
Yeah, probably, but at least a little bit. I mean, 10% should be possible, I think, and that's what I really miss. It's just we're fighting and fighting and fighting, and sometimes we don't want to fight. We want to escape, and we want to show we can escape from a strong creature, or we can stealth around, or we can use social options to talk our way out of combat, and that's what I miss in a lot of JRPGs because that could be actually quite fun, especially since there is this subgenre of monster killer games like Monster Hunter, and I think we should consider something like that in the future,
I never run from a battle in a JRPG. I always fight, even if I have no chance. If I go up against a Marvel or whatever it's called in Final Fantasy, I never run. I just die. Let bad breath kill me.
I can't remember. I think there is a game where you can gain experience by talking to somebody or even running away from battles. I can't remember which one it is though.
Is that Shimigami
I have
Tensei
heard
game?
it.
Because that sounds like something
Yeah.
I can do.
Yeah, it could have been.
probably. Also, well,
Digital Devil Saga, maybe. I don't know.
yeah,
That was a good game. I didn't play the second part. Still
Second part was pretty good.
Well, if you think about it, the social links in Personas 3 and 4, I mean, you don't technically get experience for doing the social links, but doing the social links makes it so that any monsters that you fuse within that arcana get more experience points as a result.
yeah.
So,
Also,
I mean,
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Also, you get some new abilities for your social link characters.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you
Actually-
get access to more personas.
Yeah.
And you also
Mhm.
unlock like that arcana's one of the strongest demons for that arcana as well.
Actually, there is a funny story about that. When I unlocked some of Chea's social link and she got this follow-up attack, she kicked the robot into space, and I thought, well, goodbye, Optimus Prime. Was fun to meet you.
Galactic.
Galactic Hunt.
Chie's best girl.
Nah, man. I don't know. I used to think Chie was, but I'm gonna have to go with Yukiko.
No!
I gotta go with
I
Yukio.
completely disagree.
I got it.
Yeah, I think I like Chie more too. She's cooler.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It's like I'm torn between the two, and then Rize sometimes pops up in there for me too. I'm like, I don't know. I gotta go.
Well, I mean, Rize is voiced by Laura Bailey, who was adorable.
I think that's the most problems that we get with Persona 4. You're playing someone with so much swag, and the girls are all everywhere, and damn it, you cannot choose, and there is no harem ending. Damn it!
Yeah, I think that's how Man of Kamiya 2 ended, with a harem or something. Or you had to pick a girl.
I don't like that. I like one decisive ending. Let the other
Yeah.
girls be hurt, broken. I want one.
Yeah,
decisive
yeah. I
ending.
think that's what
I
it is
hate
too.
those
You
open
pick one of the
stuff.
girls.
Okay,
yeah.
so my favorite leveling system in a JRPG, I'm gonna have to give it to Final Fantasy 12. The license board and the Gambit system, I think, was just amazing because the amount of customizations options that you have for each character to use anything that they want pretty much was amazing. And I know a lot of people didn't like that, but it gave you a lot of options. And then the Gambit system, which I think every JRPG, especially Tales of and Star Ocean, needs to incorporate that because I can't stand when I want a healer to just heal, but they run up to the damn boss and get killed anyway. That pisses me off. I think the Gambit system is amazing. They should really incorporate that. Final Fantasy 12 is like the black sheep of the Final Fantasy games almost.
I think they said they were planning on doing an HD version of it. So
they really should.
Maybe when that comes out, people will give it another chance and see it with a fresh set of eyes.
Yeah, they should because when it first came out, people weren't
currently
like.
For me, I do not like FF12. It's kind of ironic because I just think the game was a little too complex for me at the time when I played it.
Oh, okay. Right.
I just didn't understand the licensing board very much. I don't think the game was bad because I actually think the game's world was great. I think the battle system was fun. It's just I thought that the way the leveling up system worked was a little complex for me.
That's how I thought about it too. It took me a while to actually get back to Final Fantasy 12. When it first came out, I was like many of those people who thought it was it changed it up too much. But then after a couple of months, I came back to it and I was like, oh, this is actually really good.
You know, it's a game that if they ported to PS4, not upscale original graphics, of course, but I mean, if they brought it to PS4, I would give it another chance.
Yeah, I just think here should have been.
I actually completely missed it. I owned a PS2 at the time it released, but I completely forgot that it existed, and no one remembered it. I asked, didn't came out Final Fantasy 12, and no one asked, really? I don't know, and no one remembered. Here in Germany, no one remembered, and I don't know why. I
think it just wasn't. It wasn't like very. I think it was received well. It's just the fans didn't care too much for it.
I think it was actually a pretty mixed reaction. I think, based on my experience, FF12 is a love-hate game. I know a lot of people who think it's like it's the best fucking Final Fantasy, and then there are other people. Who are just like sucks. So I mean, that's just. I very rarely met people who were like in the middle ground with it.
All right. Yeah, because it was bad. Well, it wasn't bad. But... All right, so let's move on to the next topic. Everybody got a chance to go on that one. We kind of spent a lot of time on that one. All right, so the Xbox 360 had a lot of JRPGs, surprisingly.
Yep.
They got ported.
Oh yeah, well it had like Blue Dragon, Magna Carta, Tales of Zestiria, Lost Odyssey. I love that one.
Star Ocean.
Yeah. But
no one knows who actually played Magna Carta, and it has nothing to do with a Magna Carta. So why create a game around it?
The game was pretty. It was
Eternal Sonata.
Eternal Sonata was good.
I like Eternal Sonata a lot. I don't like the PS3 version though.
What's the difference?
Yeah, I was saying.
I thought it was just a straight port. Was it buggy or something like that? Did they do something?
No, it wasn't that it was buggy. It was very difficult.
Because people complained the 360 version was too easy, so when they released the PS3 version, they made it too hard.
Yeah.
I do remember thinking it was an easy game. Yeah,
that's what they did with Devil May Cry.
The PS3 version was like, okay, like a 360 version, you could like pretty much not have to block most of the time. And you know those items that forced you to affect enemies because like if they're in the sunlight, they're weaker. If they're in the shade, they're stronger.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
I like how your attacks change when you do that too. But that's another topic.
Yeah.
So, will the Xbox One ever be a console to have JRPGs on at all?
Hell no. I mean,
yeah.
No.
No,
I
we're
saw
not.
the I saw the sales figure in Japan.
You know what? The closest thing
No.
that it will ever have to any RPGs will be ports of the PS4 release RPGs, which is 15,
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3,
hmm
and I
they
think
have
that's it.
Scalebound.
I was about to say Scalebound, which I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure going to get ported in a couple
That's like
of
the
years
only
after.
Xbox One game I'm interested in, and that's
Same
gonna
here,
do
man,
horribly.
same
Yeah,
here.
I actually have an Xbox One. I don't really talk about it, but I have one. I have the
Like,
white
I don't
Gears
like to
of
talk
War
about it.
Xbox One bundle, and I don't care for it.
I like to play my mainstream games on my Xbox One.
I like Gears of
shooters and
War. That's
all
the
that.
reason I
Assassin's
have an Xbox.
Creed.
It's the only reason.
True. I have an Xbox One. I just have Gears of War. And
I like Gears of War. I think it's a fun game.
Yeah, it's cool.
I want to get Destiny, but I seriously don't want to pay for it.
No, but to get back to what you were saying, though, I don't think JRPGs will be really well received on the Xbox One. The reason I say that, I don't know if you guys heard recently, the PS4 sold remarkably well during the holiday season this past week, and that actually kind of has me a little bit worried for multiplats, especially if you own the Xbox One, because if you remember last generation, when the Xbox 360 was dominant, a lot of times multiplats performed better on the 360.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's what I got my Xbox One
because
for.
of that, they're going to go to where the money is. So if you got a 30 million base of customers on the PS4 versus whatever the amount is on Xbox One, I don't know. Just getting a JRPG to be put on the Xbox One will almost be impossible because the money will be worth it.
Yeah, and plus JRPGs are already sort of a niche genre to begin with, so
Yeah, so
The
putting
audience-
a 15 million base system versus 30, I think they're going to go with the one that's 30 over 15.
yeah. In fact, I got a question: did like the games sell better, the ones that were ported from the 360 onto the PS3?
Yes,
I
they
think
did
they
actually.
did.
They did.
Yeah.
See, that's just another
Wow.
thing.
Well, if you think about the core PlayStation family, you think PlayStation or Nintendo in some small regard. You think the niche JRPG titles.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's the
Yeah.
Xbox's problem. Like, you look at their audience, and they really don't care about stuff like that, which is why I think Scalebound is dead right when it releases. It stands no chance.
Well,
I mean, look at Tomb Raider. The
Scalebound.
Tomb Raider game is dead on arrival.
Well, on Scalebound's defense, it's
Well,
not.
that's because
It's not like a straight up turn-based RPG. It's going to be like an action RPG. So it may not flop entirely based on that. It's still being made by Hideki Kamiya, who loves
Lord.
fast-paced action games.
Lord
So
Kamiya.
I would, you know,
It will be
Oh, it's
interesting
made by
to
Platinum
see
Games.
how.
It's going to be awesome.
no, it's
It will
going to be
be-
a ass.
Yeah, it will
Yeah, I
be
like
interesting to
Platinum
see
games.
how it does.
They can do no wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's not a game that you can say you hate that Platinum Games has made. You gotta at least say you enjoyed it.
Well, I heard there was a lot of hate for that Legend of Korra game.
Yeah, but they were working on
Actually,
I
it
enjoyed
no,
it.
it's funny. It wasn't terrible.
No,
Yeah,
it
it
wasn't.
wasn't. I
It wasn't
didn't. I
terrible.
liked
It
it.
just
It was just kind of whatever. It was just kind
yeah,
of
it was
Yeah.
okay. Like I bought it because it looked interesting. I thought the gameplay looked interesting. I didn't think it was a bad game personally.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't bad. It was just kind of like, well, you know, whatever. That was there.
It was the best Avatar game. I know that.
Wasn't it like the only
That's
Avatar
not
game?
hard.
But typically, Platinum games you can't go wrong with them.
Nah.
Yeah.
Vanquish
And actually,
the
I was
Legendary
hearing
games.
something about Platinum games with something to do with Metal Gear Solid.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
Revengeance, right?
Revengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another great game. I love that game. First time playing
Yeah.
Metal Gear
I
Solid.
actually
Me too.
love
I
that game
actually
too.
liked it. I thought it was fun. Very fast-paced, 60 frames.
Mhm. And
Yeah,
it
they're
did
doing
stuff
here,
new
too.
for an action game. It did a lot of stuff new.
Yeah.
60 frames per second. Only way to game.
Now, here's what's interesting about the Xbox One with JRPGs, though. I do hear people who actually own an Xbox One from time to time complain that the few visual novels that come out for the Xbox One in Japan don't get ported to over here. And I'm like,
They
well,
wouldn't do well.
yeah, they wouldn't.
They
But the
Well,
thing is,
probably
though,
play
they're
them on
porting them
Steam.
over to the PS4 instead. So it's like, what's the point?
Microsoft
Yeah.
ain't even come to TGS, so I mean, if that ain't saying nothing.
Well, they did. They had like a booth or something like that.
Oh, they did? Oh,
I think, and nobody came to it.
But I am pretty shocked though. I thought about the launch of the 360 when they had those JRPGs like Blue Dragon.
Yeah, it had a lot of JRPGs.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah,
they tried. They actually tried to push that Japanese audience, not just in the West but in Japan.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly.
Failed.
I don't know if it was just to get people onto the system. You know what I mean? Just to push more systems.
Yeah, I think that was the reason. That was the primary reason. They wanted to get more people on.
I would like for JRPGs to come to the 360 just so it'd bring up the word for JRPGs, but
Yeah, I remember something from Hyperdimension of Tuning of Victory, where Vert was bragging about her lean boxes and be like the best fucking thing ever, and then when it came out, like only people from her country liked it, and everyone else bitched about it. And she's like, what happened? But my console's so awesome. And the other characters were like, oh, it's a cultural thing. That's why.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I love about Hyperdimension too.
Even now, though, the Xbox One is not faring well in America either, which is weird because.
Well, it's not doing as bad as the Wii U, so.
Well, to be fair, the Wii U has a very, very strong fan base.
Dedicated fan base.
Yeah.
Very dedicated fan base to their
I look at it like this. I don't know if you guys think the same way I do, but I think of primary and secondary. So I think of PlayStation as my primary system, and I think of Nintendo as a secondary. Yeah. Xbox is kind of you either have it for the certain games it has, or you don't have it.
That's true. I almost don't get any games on my Xbox One at all.
I just don't. Like Gears, that's it for me. Maybe occasional Forza Horizon, because I think Forza Horizon is a good game. But other than that, I don't know. I just never liked the controller, personally. So
I love the controller.
I like the controller.
I love the controller.
Yeah, the controller's cool.
I almost considered buying an Xbox One controller just for the hell of it when I didn't have an Xbox One. I love the controller.
It's not a bad controller, but I guess I'm so used to playing with the PlayStation controller over the years. It's it's whatever to me.
Okay.
But I don't think the Xbox One will ever have JRPGs compared to last gen though.
There's supposed to be two JRPGs coming out. There's two JRPGs supposedly coming out on Xbox One in the future, but there's nothing on these games just yet.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't.
I just hope that they don't release any of these games close to some other major titles,
like the Tomb Raider and Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going a little bit off topic here for a second. What the hell happened with that? Why did they release Tomb Raider with all these crazy games?
I will put it to you like this. I was reading about this because I was interested. Now, we all know about Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, which sold remarkably well on the PS4.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they had the time exclusivity. So apparently Square Enix, when they did this time exclusivity with Microsoft, Microsoft wanted it on their system first. And for some reason, when they did this, I guess agreement, Square Enix kind of figured, well, we don't know if this is going to work out very well. There was even an article about it. I read it somewhere recently. I guess they even knew. They was like, this isn't going to work.
Because it said that Square Enix said that like 1 million copies on the first Tomb Raider. I remember them saying it wasn't that good. It didn't sell as well as they thought it was going to, or something like that. And then you go and release it next to Fallout, next to Call of Duty. What the hell are you thinking?
I read something
very high number that they want for a game to sell. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Square Enix does have high standards.
I don't understand it. I mean, quit putting so much money into these games if you expect them to have a high number. I mean, I
read something really funny on Twitter. There's a guy that pretends to be the CEO of Sony, and he wrote a tweet that said, "We're allowing Microsoft to beta test Tomb Raider for us."
Yeah, the definitive version is going to come out on the PS4. It's going to have all the DLC.
It's going to be
all the.
What if people are just waiting for that one? What if that's the reason why not sold? Not because of Fallout 4. What if
that would be smart for people to do.
No, but the game it's not selling well at all. Apparently, it's abysmal.
Really? Holy shit! Well, that's not really surprising. You released next to Fallout 4. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Didn't the remaster only do like 300,000 on the Xbox, while it did like 1 million plus on the PlayStation 4?
Yes,
so. Yeah,
Microsoft,
it's expected.
They wanted that Square Enix money. See, Square Enix just All right, so let's get back to JRPGs. We will on the Xbox One that will ever have JRPGs. I think we're pretty much done with that. Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming out this week.
Yeah.
You guys excited about that? So you are.
Haven't
I'm
paid
excited
for
about it.
collectors.
I'm not really excited just because I didn't play the first one. It is what it is. I probably will get this one though, even though I didn't play the first one, just because I ain't trying to spend an arm and a leg for the first one.
The prices actually went down on the first one.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it's like $30 or $40 now.
Hey, wait,
Motherfucker!
But
He spent
then
like
again, I still
$80
wanna-
bucks. I spent $80.
Huh?
Well, you know GameStop guys, they like to overcharge games that they recover.
Plus, I still don't want to have to spend it because ain't that a long game?
It's
Yeah.
a long ass month. It's a long month.
To at least 100 hours minimum.
Yeah. See, if I start that now, I ain't gonna never get to Chronicles X.
My biggest problem with playing that game is having to deal with the standard definition.
Yeah, that's just terrible. That is terrible. It's like I can't go back. I can't go back
You know,
to that.
I tried playing that game on my Wii U, and it actually looks worse than it did on the Wii.
It worked. What?
Yeah, you just
It's
you gotta turn me off
The
completely
Wii,
now.
I don't know if you guys know this, and anyone out there who's listening to this right now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Wii U's emulation for the Wii is really bad.
Oh,
It makes
wow.
games look worse.
Wow, I didn't know that. Oh my god, thank you for telling me.
That's terrible. How could they do that?
They have a bad emulation built into the Wii U. So when you play games and it tries to upscale them, because it upscales them, or rather, I don't know what they did, but it's not very stable. I mean, it runs. Okay,
Does it look good at least, or does it still
fine.
have like jaggies or something like
You
that?
just can't catch a break.
If you're gonna play that game, get the Wii out, get that Wii to, I think it's called Wii U, or I'm sorry, Wii to HDMI. Plug it into the back of your Wii, and it actually upscales the game, so it looks a lot better.
Oh, okay.
You have to put aside a bit of money for that.
So with I think Xenoblade Chronicles X is probably one of the most anticipated Wii U games to come out in a while. With the sales of the Wii U and the anticipation of Xenoblade Chronicles X, how do you guys think it's gonna fare out there?
Bayonetta sales, so like around 700 to 600.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna sell 1 million. I'm gonna go out there and say it.
Yeah, it could sell 1 million, but not immediately like Splatoon or something like that. But I expect it to gradually grow over time.
What's the development team's name that's making this game?
Monolith Soft.
And the reason I think it will sell 1 million is because of Monolith Soft. Monolith Soft is a very, very praised publisher.
Yeah, they definitely are good.
That's a real online-oriented game, right?
Xenoblade?
Is it like open world online or no?
It's not online.
I don't think it has a multiplayer. I'm not even sure.
Okay.
I don't understand how this is supposed to work because, yeah, the thing
like
is,
an
I've been
online
keeping
game.
myself away from like the videos and stuff on the game. I kind of want to go in it with a fresh mindset.
That's what I'm doing.
So I
That's what I do too. I don't look at videos. I don't look at let's plays. I just go in fresh.
I did the same thing for Zestiria.
Yeah, I went same thing with Zestiria. I went with nothing about the game.
I had to know something about Zestiria because I had no faith in it at all.
Hey,
Yeah.
Crisis Averted, right?
Yeah, Crisis Averted.
Yeah.
Crisis Averted. I love the game.
Like that's the reason why I didn't do it for Zestiria, because I like heard too many bad things about it, so I just said, that's enough. I'm not listening to any of this mess.
You know, I miss the old days of when games would come out in magazines, no videos of it, and you're kind of just like, you go in there with a game with nothing
Yeah.
on it.
Yep.
I
know
miss
what you
those
mean.
days.
Now everybody wants to report on everything, get out videos and stuff like that. You can't help but see it in your feed. You can't help but hear people talking about it. And
beating old games on the Japanese versions.
so Xenoblade Chronicles X, you guys think it's gonna do good out there this
I
holiday?
think it will.
Yeah, it's got to do good because
It's
what other game came out since Splatoon or something?
it's literally the only JRPG coming out that's a full copy release.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, so going a little bit back off topic here, we're gonna flip to the JRPGs in a second. But I think this has something to do with JRPGs because it has something to do with censorship. And I wanted to talk about this on my own channel, but I never got a chance to actually make the video on it. Dead or Alive Extreme That's not coming to the West.
I'm pissed at 5%.
And that's pretty much because how it portrays women.
Social justice warriors.
Yeah. But I think a lot of JRPGs do that.
Now they start growing conscious now.
I wonder if Senran Kagura is still going to come out.
It better. I want to play that.
I like that game.
Is not afraid to come out with that.
I don't think Senran Kagura will get affected by it. It's not mainstream enough.
Plus, another thing is it's not as realistic as Dead or Alive. They try to make their characters look very realistic.
You guys remember that code where you change the age in Dead or Alive 2?
Oh, yeah. Oh, damn.
Wait, what was that about?
That's just a thing where you can manipulate the boob physics just a little bit. That is in nearly any Dead or Alive game. You can change that, and it's an age code. I still haven't. I play these games for around 10 years and more, and I still haven't figured out what you actually do with it, but it affects the game.
I forget the number of the age, but there's a certain age number you pick, and their boobage factor just accelerates.
Yeah, it looks weird. We now have in Dead or Alive 5 they had a setting that was just awkward. It looked weird, and but yeah, I'm pissed. I'm pissed they doing this now. I mean, why not doing this with Dead or Alive Paradise that no one buyed actually? Because why wouldn't you buy that?
But to answer your question about not coming out in the West, though, I think it's a big mistake for Tecmo's part to not do that, because that gives in to this movement, which really, up until this point, games have always came out. So I don't
know what the big deal is. Like we brought up, Senran Kagura wasn't that bad, but then again, like you guys said, it wasn't as mainstream as Dead or Alive is. Yeah. But there are other games that pretty much portray women pretty bad, especially in JRPGs. Like Mugen Souls, they removed the whole mini game because they thought it would have been bad.
But I don't think that Dead or Alive treats this woman very badly. It's just puts him in very bad.
I must say, I feel as though they did it a little bit more tastefully than JRPGs do.
They're having a lot of games that have come out though that portrays women weirdly. I mean, I'll admit that, but I don't know. I just think it's this kind of phase we're in our culture right now.
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't know if it's within our culture. I think it's just another phase for the video game industry specifically, just because we've been through something similar back in the 90s with violence in video games, and now back then it was video games make you violent. Now it's video games make you sexist, which is equally ridiculous.
Well, that's still video games make you violent. Still persists.
Not as much as
that is never going to go away.
No,
it's nowhere near as bad as it was in the 90s.
Yeah,
but it's still there though.
Make
Matter of fact,
money.
there was an article recently about a week ago about something to do with that whole Paris incident, and apparently PlayStations were involved in it.
They used the PlayStation Network to concoct the whole scheme.
Yeah, it was false though.
Here's my opinion. Context is the most important thing. If your game is really over the top, it's completely ridiculous, and it's not meant to be taken seriously. What the fuck does it matter if you have girls with big tits flying around?
That's what it all boils down to.
The game isn't meant to be taken seriously.
Exactly.
So what does it matter? Now, if you have a game that's really gritty and you are meant to take it seriously, but then you have the same deal where you have girls that are really scantily clad or whatever, I think that's an issue, not because it's sexist, but because it goes against the tone of the game. It's a technical issue, not a social issue. That's stupid.
Hey, you got to give PlayAsia props for saying we're going to take over and release it for people in the West.
That's cool.
Well, still getting that Asia copy.
Yes, get the Asia copy. We'll have English text.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I think doing pretty good. Yeah, I was gonna say Asia's doing pretty good with their English text though. Anybody into the Gundam versus games?
Yep.
I actually do own one of the Gundam versus.
Yeah, that was gonna be in English.
Mobile Suit versus Gundam, was it Universe?
Yeah.
I actually had that one. Freaking love that game.
Yeah, me
I'm not a huge
too.
Gundam fan, but that Gundam game was pretty badass though.
Yeah, they're Asia's doing the English version or English subtitled version of the
I
newest one.
actually own what was it, Sire New Translation Asia version because it's in complete English. It's out of the physical copy, and yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah, the
start
Gundam games
buying
are
more
fun.
Asia versions in the future when they have the English, menus and stuff.
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm liking that. I'm liking that.
is Play Asia subbing the games on their own?
No, I
no,
think it's a company that's doing it. I'm not sure. Or it's coming out.
Tecmo Koei is doing what they basically decided to do was is they're not going to release it in the West. They decided
Yep.
to just add the English text translation into the game. So it's based on your region. So if you program your console by default to region in English, it'll actually change the language automatically on its own. So it's based on whatever region your system's in, the language will automatically change for it.
That's cool.
Oh,
You know,
Well, I
I
think
wonder what kind of
convenient.
talking they're gonna be doing in that game though.
I think what Tecmo did is stupid anyway. They're pandering to a bunch of people who wouldn't even buy their game in the first place. Whereas
Yeah.
people like
Yeah.
me were actually looking forward to this game. Now I'm gonna have to spend like $80 just to import this game.
Yeah.
I know, it's dumb, but hey, it's better to have a game that's at least you can get it and play it, and not have that fiasco that happened to Persona 4 Arena where it was region locked.
Oh yeah.
It
That's
was? Why was it region locked?
I don't know. Well, they
What-
said
what-
it was because they didn't want that the Japanese re-import it because it's cheaper out there, but I think it's just to piss us off. It was just to piss us off, especially as Europeans. We had to wait for like nearly a year to get that thing.
Yeah, Atlas hates you guys, so sucks.
Yeah.
At least you guys
have
get
more
One
time
Piece,
for
the One
stuff.
One Piece games.
Well, to be fair,
yeah.
you guys got Tales of Eternity on PSP.
That's true.
Oh man, gosh, don't
I
get me
like Tales of
Well,
started.
they got a bugged version of it first, and then they had to re-release it.
But still, they got it.
They still got it, I had to
But here's
import it. I was like, what? This game came out. It's in
I
English?
know.
Why haven't? Why can't I get
'Cause
the
see,
game
let's-
about it?
Same thing with that
Luckily
Yu-Gi-Oh
for me-
game.
Luckily for me, I own Breath of Fire 3 on PSP and Eternity on PSP, so.
Yeah, I want those.
But
Hey,
there's
they
still
can-
one. Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty cheap right now, though. I should get them.
You
Yeah,
probably
but-
can get it for about $10. I know you can get Breath of Fire 3 on PSP for $10 new.
Yeah, I'm gonna get those, even though, yeah, I was
Like-
really into modding the PSP back then, but that was the old me.
Okay.
I buy my games now.
The PSP is the unsung hero of the handheld.
It is.
It's
It really is.
PSP
Yeah, it was a great. It was a great.
Champion.
It was I had a great time with my PSP.
Oh yeah.
Since we're on the
But yeah.
PSP, the store is closing in Japan. PSP PlayStation Store is closing in Japan. So
Wow,
it's
damn,
pretty
I thought
much.
that been close.
Will we still be able to access it through PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PC?
I have no idea. Probably not.
Okay,
Wait, the kick-
here's how it's gonna probably work, I think. So what's going on right now is what they're trying to do is get games ported to the Vita store.
Oh yeah.
And then what's going to happen is once they get those games, phased over to the Vita store, games that'll work on the Vita, then they will close it down. Here's the issue that I have with anything digital. Doesn't matter if it's PSP or Xbox or whatever it may be. These servers are going to go down eventually. You
Yeah.
always say, well, these games, you own them forever, you bought them, they're digital or whatever. But again, this is one of the reasons I prefer physical copy to still exist. It should be an option for them to exist because if, let's say the PlayStation 5 comes out, or the next Xbox comes out, or the Nintendo NX, right? And they all go physical away and digital only.
Mhm.
I don't know if I would accept that because I feel like at that point you have me tied to however long the servers are up. You have access to these games.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
That
part of
is
that
true.
generation either.
There are a lot
On
of
my
problems
Vita,
with that.
I digitally buy all the games on my Vita. But-
Right. Now here's the thing. If you own them on your Vita or PSP, when they close the servers, it's fine. But does it necessarily mean that my PSP memory card's going to last for another 20 years or another 5 years after that? Because anything could go wrong. Matter of fact, Shintai had a PSP memory stick to go bad.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like,
This is true.
is it, even at that point, can you accept the fact that, hey, the store's closed, what are the games I bought? Is there a way to access them? And Sony's like, no. We had
all that money that you spent is pretty much done.
to give you these games under our set time frame. Time frame has expired. Therefore, your license has expired.
Well, it's not like
That's how it works. When you buy a game, it's licensed under how long they're obligated to let you download it for that length of time. You don't permanently have access to them. It's just for a set time frame. So that's why I try my best not to go digital with a lot of games, unless you have no choice. If they only got published digitally, that's the exception. So, with regards to being closed, I think we should be very concerned with America and in the European region when they're going to follow suit. So, it's a bad thing for anyone who's a PSP owner or someone who's never played PSP games, because I freaking love the PSP.
Yeah,
There's so many games on that system, digital and physical copy, that you must get your hands on.
Unfortunately, it got pirated to hell.
Yeah.
People pirated the crap out of that thing.
Anyone picked up this that what was it that came out recently? The Trolls in the Sky?
No,
I
haven't.
haven't. I haven't yet. I have to beat Zestiria first before I move on to any other game. I can't do that.
I still gotta beat the first
I
one.
bought it for PC.
I'm gonna buy it for PC, but I got.
No, the was it second chapter?
Yeah,
second chapter.
I loved the first one. I loved it, but I can't move on to another game without having to.
There was actually some more PSP games coming out for it. There's a couple of more.
I know one. Summon Night 5 is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
I can't actually wait for that one.
I wish that Trails in the Sky Cold Steel was coming to PC.
I reserved both the Vita and PS3 versions of that, the limited edition. And
wow.
I know this is off topic, but the Vita is in a very bad predicament right now too, because Sony is actually coming out saying that they're not going to make a next gen handheld. So
I actually don't mind that, to be honest. I'm like, it could.
Yeah, because like.
I don't know.
But no, it's true. It's not an issue later, but the issue that I have with them saying that, if you look at the lineup of Vita games that are coming out for it and the ones we have now, they're not really trying to make games that are comparable to the PSP in terms of quality. There's a lot of visual novels. There's more visual novels.
It's like Japan. A lot of stuff from Japan. Right. The Vita is only thriving in Japan.
Like a lot of games coming out to Vita like aren't even Vita exclusive games anymore. They're always going to be like PS3 versions of it or PS4 versions.
Yeah.
The issue now comes down to what is really worth buying for it. At that point, I mean, if you can get multiplayer, if you can get it on a console, do you want to get it on the Vita?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do. I actually do, because like Cold Steel, that's coming out. I might get that for the Vita, but if I hear the frame rate is crapped on the Vita, then I'll go to the PS3.
Here's the thing. I am probably there's maybe a couple of you guys, I don't know, but I actually own the Vita TV.
I do.
Yeah, I got
it. Every game that's come out for it, every game that's come out for it works on it. Every game now that comes out from now on has to work for the Vita TV, thankfully.
Yeah, because it was stupid before.
We'll say Memories of Celceta works for it now. Woo! I'm happy with that.
Okay, cool.
I
was just getting back into that.
So good.
But you know, actually, funny thing is, I found a used copy of the limited edition at GameStop for $17.
Oh, wow. Snap!
Oh, fine, shit.
And it wasn't even open.
Damn.
Nice.
So now eBay or something like that.
That's a really
I
nice
think when you
box
bring
set.
them in at GameStop, they have to sell them used, even if it's brand new sealed.
Yeah, games get converted over used at GameStop after so long. So what happens is they convert them over to use, and sometimes they don't even open them. They just leave them still.
Yeah, I still seen some Senran Kaga collector's editions.
Yeah, but the Vita ultimately, the predicament I see happening with what's happening to PSPs, I think the PSP did a much more solid job of getting out there and selling well.
Yeah, right now Sony doesn't give a damn about the Vita. They don't.
Because they don't have Monster
No,
Hunter.
they're treating the Vita as a attachment to the PS4. They're not treating
Yeah,
it
they
as a
really are.
It's still not working.
And I was saying it's not even that good.
I want to do remote play because I really at the time I wanted to play Disgaea 5, but the TV was preoccupied in both rooms. I said I could have put on my PS4 and start playing Disgaea 5, but I don't know, something happened with the damn remote play, and it doesn't do it right. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
like, I'm right here next to my router. Like, what?
I think at some point this year, because I really need to go back and make another video and talk about the PSP again, because it's a system I really feel did not meet the expectations of what that system had to offer. If you were a JRPG fan, like
I think it lived it good.
If you were a JRPG fan for the PSP, I think it did do a good job. There was a lot of JRPGs on the PSP.
It did do a good job, but I feel like a lot of people didn't buy the PSP.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
And
if they did, they just pirated the crap out of it.
Yeah. That bugs me more than anything. Actually, I made a video and someone was like, "Hey, anyone, can you tell me how to go pirate blah blah blah?" And I'm like, "Really?"
What the fuck?
I made a physical. It's a physical copy recorded, and you're gonna tell me you're gonna pirate it?
Well, that's why the Vita is so shut down. You can't really do much with the Vita.
You can't. And I think that's ultimately another thing that's affecting the sales of the Vita is that it's not as piratable as the PSP was.
No, it's not.
So, I mean, props to Sony for improving that, but not props to Sony for doing that.
They're not. They don't care about the
Vita. But ultimately, don't. Unless to me, my motto is, if it's digital only and it's the only way you can play it, get it digital. Like Fatal Frame for the Wii U, I bought that.
I didn't.
You can play it.
Wait a minute, Fatal Frame, the new one that just came out?
Yeah, for North America, it's digital only, which is why I didn't buy it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Which is retarded.
I mean, I have a white model Wii U. You know how hard it is to get space on that damn thing?
That's another thing that kills me with Nintendo. What's up with them 32 gigs? It is 20.
What's up with the 8 gigs? No one talks about the 8 gigs. Like 3 gigs available space when you update the OS.
They better fix that.
That's terrible.
They better fix that.
That is it. So I had to go get a 2 terabyte Seagate hard drive, which costs $180.
Yeah.
Damn, I got a 1 terabyte.
On top of the price of the
Wait,
Wii U.
you can take out the memory in the Wii U and put new memory in?
Well, it's the external
Supposedly you can.
Yes.
I heard though that Nintendo has a way to know that it's been changed out and they brick the system.
Oh my god!
Come
Look at that.
But you can use
That's
external
trying to help you
hard
out,
drives.
Nintendo.
Here's what you can do though. You can actually get a memory stick, 128 gig memory stick. As I tried it, you buy what is called, what they call those things, the USB to like the multi-card storage device that has those different ports, like your SD card or whatever on it. Then you plug in that to it, like an SD card. You can buy an SD card and plug it into it. Or you can buy a USB flash drive. Plug it to the back of the USB on the Wii U, and it works the same way as a mass storage device.
Oh, that's cool.
That helps.
Okay, so there are ways to do it, unlike the Vita, where you're just stuck with their damn memory cards.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
I actually wished I could actually send you some physical copies of Fatal Frame, but it wouldn't work.
Well, you guys got it in Europe on the physical copy, didn't you?
Yeah, we did, but I cannot send it because Nintendo are the only guys who actually region lock their consoles anymore.
That kills me.
Again, Nintendo is very
stupid.
No, I would say backwards.
They were region free. They were open to everyone, and then they went like, nope, switch off.
Like, fuck you.
How about
so
the
bad.
PC getting remote play? That should be better.
What does that even do? I don't get it.
I guess it does the same thing
play?
that
What
the
is that?
Vita does. But, it lets you. I guess it lets you play your games on your PC,
Yeah.
streaming it through the PS4.
Why?
Same way you would
would-
on your Vita.
I mean, I don't even see that being a reason to do. Was it even what?
Don't ask. Don't ask. Don't
I
ask.
don't know.
I can't.
I can't define with Sony is that they like to always prove to people that they can do the same thing that other people can do. Like with the Move controller, they say, "Hey, we can do a nunchuck and everything too."
Move.
With the camera, hey, we got to connect too.
I almost forgot
Like,
that
they
the Move
always-
existed.
Yeah.
You know, the
they're
thing
going to try to
that-
remind you with the virtual reality.
The thing that amazes me most is Sony always tries to copy things when they should just be themselves and keep doing what's making them successful.
Stuff that they copy don't even work out. It's just an afterthought.
Yep. The Move. Oh, jeez.
Well, hey, the fact that they're bringing PS2 emulation to PS4 is okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
depends on
that's
how
good.
they do it. If
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like,
have to
they
buy
ain't
the
gonna do
games
it.
at the store, I really don't care. But if I can
I
just pop
say-
in my games, that's
Yeah.
good.
Well,
That's
here's
not
the
how it's
thing.
gonna work.
I'm actually thinking it's going to be a DVD you actually put into the PS4 because
I
it
hope
actually
so.
plays
Too
DVDs.
good to be true. Too
Yeah.
good to
I
be
don't
true.
see that coming.
There's no money. There's no money to be made.
Part
That
of me kind of
Yeah.
does. Part of me kind of feels like it's going to be what the PS3 was
I just
because
feel
the
though.
PS4 is the only system I know where you can't put a freaking not the Wii U. I don't count that. You can't put a music CD in it, so it ain't gonna play PS1 games. Period. Doesn't even have the CD option. So, but it does have the DVD option. So Sony could probably go two routes. They could say, "Hey, we're gonna have these games available digital. You can buy them, or
Yeah,
if you
that's
own
the
a
route they're
physical
gonna go
copy of
with.
the game, you can play it."
Nope. That's too good to be true. I'm really pissed
Yeah.
off.
Well, the PS3 has the PS1 where you could buy the game or just put the disc in your system. I mean,
Yeah, that's like for that one, but nowadays they're gonna do
Yeah.
whatever makes them money. And that's
oh, by the way,
cheaper
just so
than-
you know, don't think Xbox One is winning when it comes to that Xbox 360 compatibility. It's dreadful.
they fail. They don't have
It's
Tales of the
dreadful.
Spirit
The
available.
games
They
are
fail.
actually very buggy on it.
I want to.
Oh, you mean just like
very-
on the Xbox 360?
Yeah, but actually, it's worse than that. It's worse.
By the way,
upscale.
I just want to bring up, how far off topic have we gone?
A little bit.
A lot.
A little bit.
Let's
that
move
bad.
back, I think. We should move back.
We should
Yeah,
go
let's
back on
Back to
topic.
topic.
Yeah.
But okay. The Game Awards of 2015 is coming up. There's surprisingly a lack of JRPGs on this list.
Because Xenoblade came out too late.
Do you honestly think Xenoblade would be on this list? Because this
I-
list seems so mainstream.
Yeah.
I really
I
do
don't
think
think I don't think a JRPG could have made it.
I think Xenoblade has a good chance of getting like a highly praised. That's how confident I am with this game. But would it be part of the list? I really don't know because the Western mindset is completely different than what everybody else thinks. So yeah, I don't think it'd be on there.
Oh, are we saying which ones will be on the list for this year?
Well, no, just like there's just a lack of JRPGs on any of the lists here, like none at all. Because
What are on the list so far that we know?
well, mostly for Game of the Year, you got
Team
most
Bloodborne.
Yeah, you got most of the mainstream stuff: Fallout 4, Bloodborne, Metal Gear.
I'd say Bloodborne technically counts as a JRPG.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong, it
Yeah.
does, but here's the problem though.
I don't know. about that.
That's not really enough.
No.
So let me ask you guys a question. And I hate to bring this up because it hurts me more than anything, if Persona 5 came out this year, like it said it was going to, but it didn't, would it be on the Game of the Year list?
Yes, it would be.
Yeah.
No.
It would be
No, it would.
probably.
You know why? Because I forget what year it was, but Persona 4 actually made it on the awards.
It did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
But it would be probably very low on the list.
But it was still on
Yeah.
the list. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys think it
So much higher.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Is there a category for best handhelds?
Best handhelds. I do
'Cause
not.
there definitely would be some JRPGs if the Vita was up there.
Mobile handhelds. Yeah.
Oh,
We're going to. We're going to.
Downwell, Fallout Shelter, Lovecraft
Oh,
Go,
phone
Monster Hunter
stuff.
4 Ultimate. Well, that's the only JRPG I see on here. Monster Hunter
Yeah.
4 Ultimate. And
Okay.
Pac-Man. What the hell is Pac-Man? Well, I know Pac-Man, but I'm just saying. But any JRPGs you guys think is the best one that came out this year?
Hmm.
Well, it's not really a JRPG, but Wait, for like my personal game of the year or what?
JRPG wise, let's keep it JRPGs. I can give you guys a list if you need one.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's see, which one is it? Do I only have 2 open? I have 3 open. I might want to close this one out. I don't want to give that out too fast. Let's close everything out as a matter of fact. Save. You guys see it on screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Yes.
No, I can't.
Now it's gone.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to speak.
Oh,
for
yes,
you.
there we go. Oh, wait, there it goes again.
Is it on there?
Nope.
Just click on Shadow Elite's thing if you want to keep it on screen.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You guys see it?
No, he was there for
No,
a split second, and
Oh my god.
it went back to your
I
avatar.
clicked on your name so that it would just stay permanent.
Okay, there we go. Xenoblade Chronicles X, Atelier Shally, Disgaea 5, Final Fantasy Type 0, Omega
Big time,
Quintet,
girl.
Persona 5, if it did, Codename Etrian Mystery Dungeon, Etrian Odyssey 2, Stellar Glow, SMT, Devil Survivor 2, Legend of Heroes Trails of Sky, Second Chapter, Lost Dimension, The Awakened Fate Ultimatum, and Tales of Zestiria.
I think there were a couple others, but I didn't include them because they were so like niche. I didn't even bother with it. So
I haven't really played half of these games up here.
I played
So I don't
most
know
of
too
them,
much about it.
surprisingly. But I didn't
Like,
know.
I haven't played any of the Etrian, Stella. I wanted to try
Yeah,
some
if
Stella
it's
Go.
if it's Nintendo 3DS, man, I don't own one, so.
Okay. What game do you guys think should be JRPG of the year?
I would go with
For me, it's a tie between Type 0, even I had a problem with the camera. I think the story was amazing. Well, the ending was, oh my god, the ending was amazing. And Disgaea 5, definitely.
I would say for me it would be Atelier Shally, Alchemist of the Dust Sea, and Type 0.
Type 0. See, another Type 0 fan. Good. Type 0 was actually pretty good. Except for the camera. Camera killed me.
Yeah, the camera sucked. Motion blur made me sick.
Yeah. Even when they fixed it,
I played a little bit of Awakened Fate Ultimatum, and it was.
How is that?
It was.
I did play that too. I didn't like the change that they did with the gameplay from the first one, and the visual novel aspect of it was okay.
Yeah.
Well, did they do the same thing in which you died in a dungeon? You had to give up all your stuff and start from the beginning. Because the first one did that, and that just pissed me off so much.
No, this one plays like how do I describe it? And it plays nothing like the first one.
It did play something about. That's
It's
probably the
too,
reason
I don't like the
didn't
3D
play it.
look of it. It's too 3D for me in that one.
Yeah, it isn't. Oh, the graphical engine, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Need sprites. Bring sprites into it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'd probably go with Disgaea 5.
Yeah, Sky.
Yeah, Disgaea 5 currently, but I think
Disgaea
0
5, yeah, I would
top
agree.
that.
The Sky 5 seems to be a general consensus.
Yeah, I do own the Sky 5, and
That was
I
one of my
it.
favorite Disgaea 5s
I like
in a
it. I
while.
do like the Sky 5 a lot.
You guys think
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles is going to overtake it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Ooh. I don't know.
The only games on this list that I played were Final Fantasy Type 0 and Tales of Zestiria. And between the two, I prefer Zestiria a lot more.
What did you think of Type 0?
I didn't mind it. I didn't beat it, though. But
I didn't beat it
based
either.
on what I played, I thought the gameplay was fun.
Yeah, game was hella fun.
But I didn't know how to feel about the writing.
I felt that they didn't do the characters justice enough. And even if they did, I'd probably crack on it for being so standard. But
The
whole-
opening scene in the game is really strong, though.
yeah, it's like a lot of blood.
Oh,
A lot of the cutscenes in that game towards the end gets even more crazy.
Yeah, the ending. Man, it grabbed me. Oh my god, the ending was amazing.
But yeah, just between the two of them, based on what I've played, I prefer Zestiria like tenfold.
So any of you other guys have played Atelier Shally?
I can't.
No.
I can't get
I
into
wanted
the
to get
Atelier.
that one.
I don't know why. I just can't do it.
What they did with that game was made it open. Like there's more open world environment attached to it, so it's a lot more exploration, finding items and crafting.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah.
battle system is very similar to the
The other
previous
ones. Okay.
but
Wait, because the only one of the recent ones that I've like played substantially is Esha and Logi, and the combat in that game, while it starts off really slow, by the end of the game, the combat is amazing.
yeah, it uses that game's gameplay actually, but it tweaks it a little bit. But I mean, game is more open ended. It's more open world, not open ended, more open world. That's what I meant to say.
I just wish the games would come to the PC so they can be at 60 frames,
Yeah.
and I can enjoy that way.
Let me
They'll
just say,
probably
like,
they'll probably port the PS Vita versions. Like
let me
they did
just
with the
say, like,
Hypertension.
anyone watching, like, give Eska and Logi a shot. That it's actually coming out on the Vita soon. They're porting it. That game is really good. It starts off a bit slow, but just stick with it. It is really good.
It is a good game. It is a good game.
It's a game
But,
that gets so much better the more you play it.
Damn, I got some serious hate for Tales of Zestiria in the comments. Holy shit.
Zobi going at it.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, Zestiria was a good game, but I guess I'm not really as far as I want to be in it to give it a good judgment yet.
Surprisingly, I'm shocked that no one mentioned Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker.
I haven't played it, that's why. I played the first
Same.
one. Played Record Breaker one.
Yeah, Overclocked was amazing, and if Part 2 was like that, that probably would have been my personal JRPG until Xenoblade came out, because Overclock was one of my favorite Shin Megami Tensei games out there.
Good.
Now, here's one game I will say I played this year and I didn't put on a list because I think it's very controversial. I actually have played Omega Quintet. I personally don't think the game is bad.
Really? Because I looked at that game, I was like, I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time for this idle crap, this little Japanese.
No,
I don't
I'm
have
not
time for
talking about
that.
that.
All right,
That's prevalent.
I love playing those games sometimes, but this one, I looked at it, I was like, no, you ain't getting me.
Okay. Let me explain how. I know the perception is all the thing right now. When you see something that you see and don't quite get it, like I initially had the same impression you had, but getting into the actual core gameplay, because I played the Japanese demo, and that sold me on getting Omega Quintet. Believe it or not. I never played that demo. I would have just been like, oh, another typical Compound Heart game, move on. But
exactly what I thought it was too. I was like, no,
but it's quite good. The combat.
The combat is the only thing keeping you in. Everything else is just like it's just there.
Yeah. If something, what was it, like a villain? Yeah, if there's one villain, it's cool. It's gonna make you keep playing it. Well, if there's certain aspects of a game that keeps you playing it, for me, it was the combat actually.
Okay, that makes sense because I could see the story being something only Japan could do.
Yeah, like I have the game digitally because it was like $6 or something,
What?
and it was like
Yeah, they
back
had it on
the
a sale.
Yeah, it was on sale.
I
Like
that's how
$7 or $8.
Game worth no damn $50, $60.
That's the reason why I got it. But I got like probably like an hour into it, and it's pretty fun. The story is kind of it's better than most Compile Heart games, but
how?
Man.
I mean, it's not even.
It's a competent Compound Heart game, to put it bluntly.
Yeah, I think Compile Hearts does, like, when they put a male protagonist in their games, it's good because I like Fairy Prince F.
Yeah, Fairy Prince F was actually
That
pretty.
game's okay.
Yeah.
I need to go back to actually play it. I haven't played it in a while.
I don't like Compile Heart.
This guy just came out and said,
I
don't
saw
like
your
this
mic muted, and I was thinking, I think Shintai's trying to hold out.
Why,
Shantai? Explain. Why?
I find it very tactless how they rehash the same shit over and over again. Now,
I definitely understand it.
I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with reintroducing old elements in your games, but the way that Compile Heart does it, it is literally copy and paste the same shit over and over again, call it a new game.
Yo,
Fuck
and then they
you.
charge you $60 for that shit. I'm like, well,
Well, who? I
When
gotta
they
ask
made-
this question.
well, that's
when they
$60. Most of
made-
their games are $50 or $40. I'm sorry.
When they made Neptunia 2, all they've been doing is making that same game over and over again.
Yeah, that's why I won't buy the ones on PC or the Vita. I can't do it because I'm like, yo, this is just the same game.
I wish they would
I
change
gotta
the
ask
art
this
over
style.
question
again.
though.
I can't.
Who made Mugen Souls and Mugen Soul Z?
Yeah, I
Wasn't
think
it?
that was a Compile Hearts game.
Yeah, I think that was kept
Those
out.
games were dreadful.
I
games were
hated
absolutely
Mugen
dreadful.
Souls.
I wish they would change their art style for
Terrible
Neptunia games.
game.
Like, it's just
The
ugly.
frame rate. Actually, I put the game ran so bad in HD.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
why
actually
hate
went
it.
into my PS3 settings and put the game on 480p, and it ran just fine.
Wow, really?
I'm dead serious.
Oh my god, that's terrible. I was thinking about getting Mugen Souls on PC, and I was like, nah, I'm not. The game is not worth.
No, it's
And
not.
they all just feel like they're so long. Like, it just, even if they're not long, they feel like they're just a chore.
Like, most of them
I
are
feel like a
overly
chore to
complicated.
play.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah,
I guess we don't want to go off topic again.
Help our heart hate.
but
Only games
here's
are
my
out.
problem.
I
Here's
got
my
like a
problem
little
with the list. I actually didn't play anything on that list, but I played some games from this year actually. But the only JRPG I actually played this year was Operation Abyss, and that's a game no one actually talks about because
Oh,
it's just
did
a
you
dungeon
beat that?
crawler.
God, I was going to ask about that. Anyone play it?
I
Get
haven't
yesterday.
beat it yet.
Operation Abyss. Let me see. What
I
is that?
played Operation Abyss. I was like, I don't have time for all this grinding.
Yeah,
Is
I
it a
can't do
typical
it.
dungeon crawler first-person game?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
With
There's been a lot because there's been a lot of games like there was a Dungeon Traveler 2.
yeah,
So I
Yeah.
bought that and I didn't too much like it.
I could tell I wasn't gonna like Dungeon Travel, so I ain't bothered.
It's typical first-person dungeon crawler. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Nothing
I don't
special.
find Operation Abyss especially
Oh, yeah, I don't really like
bad.
dungeon crawlers.
It's okay for a dungeon crawler, but
It's
some of
hard.
the characters actually irk me a little bit. I mean, there's this black teacher who was
Yo,
very
that was
creepy.
racist.
That was so
That was
creepy and
racist.
racist. This
I
was,
was like, yo,
man.
this guy, the way he talks too.
oh man,
So racist. I'm
He
offended.
hits
I
on
don't,
the
I don't easily
girl.
get offended.
oh man. He
Oh.
he hits on that girl and damn. So ashamed to be white.
wow.
Like the only black character I've seen in JRPG, and he acts like this. I'm like, what the hell?
Hey,
Hey, Barrett.
thanks for trying.
Barrett was pretty badass in FF7.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but that
but-
was FF7, but nowadays I don't see many black characters in JRPG.
That's true.
You got the guy from Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, he's the only one.
Saz is pretty cool.
Saz, man. Saz is awesome.
That's what I like about Square Enix. They do black characters pretty
In,
cool.
in
Yeah.
the PS1
Well, he had an
version,
afro, so that was like racist right there.
in the
That was,
PS1
yeah, that
version,
was. With the bird.
They had a bird. Like, yo, that's. Why you got?
We,
Why can't
we
you
don't
got
talk
normal
about the bird. We don't talk about the
Trying to
bird.
say-
His afro has to smell worse.
Yeah. People hide stuff in their afros.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's like Chocobo living.
Please don't think about it. Think about it. Think about how cute his son was. Think about that.
Oh my god. But yeah, what are we talking about?
Top
Game of the Year list.
JRPGs
Oh yeah,
Game of the Year.
Fearless. Oh yeah, Operation Abyss. You
Genau.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't.
good.
I like it, but the problem is it's a little bit tedious, especially
Yeah, exactly.
in the very first dungeon. Actually, it forces you to think very three-dimensionally for a dungeon crawler game, and while I don't dislike it, it's just it's a little bit overboard, I think.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have time to do all.
But I
there
like
are
the
better
art
games.
style.
There are better games out there.
I like the art style. That's okay. Besides of specific characters.
Okay.
That's okay.
Close out my topics here. Why would I do that? I have to go back to Twitter.
So we have that. We have.
Okay, so what's the most underrated JRPG?
Well, outside of Nier, Digital Devil Saga.
Right. Nier.
Come on, we all saw that coming.
Oh my god. Nier.
Outside of Nier, it would have to be Digital Devil Saga. I never hear anybody really talk about
Yeah,
this.
yeah, that's true.
Well,
I love
I
this-
heard, like whenever I hear about Shin Megami Tensei from somebody, they always mention Digital Devil Saga, Nocturne, and stuff like that. I don't think it's
Well, yeah, they're gonna go down the list, but like individually, I just never hear somebody
Yeah.
mention this game, and I think it's one of the better ones. Like, I really like the whole tournament aspect of how whoever finds this girl gets to ascend to Nirvana, and you have to eat everybody in order to live and everything. I thought it was pretty cool.
That opening cutscene in Digital Devil Saga was so epic.
Oh, that music!
Yeah. Hey, that was some cool stuff though. Me, I'd probably have to say Legend of Dragoon. Every time someone talks about a classic JRPG of the PS1 days, no one ever talks about Legend of Dragoon.
I don't
It
like
gets
that
swept
game.
under the rug. I like that game. That was like one of my favorites.
I didn't care too much for it. I didn't say it was bad. I just didn't care too much for it. when
That
I
was
played
a
it.
great. It's underrated.
Here's the thing. I grew up with Legend of Dragoon. I liked it a lot as a kid. I fucking loved it as a kid. I tried playing it again when they re-released it on the PlayStation Network,
Yeah.
and playing it as an adult, I was like, yeah, this is not aged well. This is not nearly as good as what I remember it to be.
Like,
Well,
don't
the
get me wrong, the
graphics
voice
or the-
acting is terrible. Dimension slash double slash.
My-
But I do think the battle system was something fresh and unique at the time.
It's fresh and unique at first, but by the end of the game, where the game expects you to pull off these ridiculous timed attacks,
I know what you're talking about.
it's like it gets really tedious.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the game encourages you to use the other attacks because they do more damage, and the more you do them, the stronger they get. But it becomes too much of a hassle to bother.
Yeah, I guess it's just something for me. Like I really enjoyed that at the time. I still like it.
I think Shadow Hearts does it better.
That's
Yeah.
I'll give
Talking
that.
about my pick.
Yeah.
That was my pick. Shadowheart. I think all the Shadowheart games are underappreciated.
The
They
third
are
one, I
phenomenal.
can see why that's underappreciated. I didn't really like that one.
I mean, what was wrong with it? Because I didn't play it, but I wanted to play it. At the time, I just didn't get it. I should have got it right after I beat Covenant, but never got around to it.
I guess it just wasn't like the same characters you came to know and love from the first. Well, the same character.
Yeah, because it wasn't just one character. What's his name?
Yeah, the guy.
Yuri.
I forgot his name. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, that was my pick.
I can't remember much of it, but I don't think the girl. I think it was the main character, the girl. Like I don't think she transformed like he did. It's all the different things. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the story at all. I just remember loving the battle system.
Yeah, the battle system is what they did have a pretty solid one.
See, this is why they need to have that needs to get an HD remaster, or at least make it backwards compatible to PS4 so I can just play it on there. But
Well,
it's not going to be that simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody else most underappreciated, underrated, under the radar?
There's
Radiata
a
stories?
lot of.
There's a lot. Yeah. There's a
Oh
lot.
yeah, that's a good one.
Which one?
Radiata story.
Yeah, Radiata Stories. I love that game.
That was a fun game. That was the type of game that you could say that's a classic JRPG. So many side quests to find, so many different mysteries to unlock. That was a fun game.
Really
What's it called?
likable characters.
Yeah.
It felt like I was watching an anime at times.
What game are you guys talking about? What?
Radiata
Stories.
stories.
Oh, that one. That one I
Yeah.
never actually.
That was kind of hard too, because you didn't like level up like normal games. Like you didn't get stronger the normal way. I found it pretty hard.
Oh, I'm not thinking this one was on PSP. It was on PS.
No, it's a PS2 game.
Yeah,
Ah.
PS2.
Okay, I must.
But it was a fun game.
So,
All right.
Well, I think I throw a curveball in and say, I would say Reciteer and Item Shop Tale. You don't know that. You don't know that. I know that.
I bought it off Steam, but I
It's-
haven't played it.
It's a very different game because it's a JRPG on the
What is it
PC.
called?
That's a very strange thing, and it's partially a JRPG, but partially it's a tycoon game where you manage your own item shop, and
Oh, okay.
it's very it's funny. It's a little bit strange, but it's so cheap you can get it really easy over Steam. Zestiria and Item Shop Tale. Try it out. It's on sale, I think.
I'd never heard of that ever.
Yeah, you should try it.
Okay. Never. Looking at it, I'm like, oh, all right. This looks weird. All right. So I guess we're pretty much done with that topic.
Hey, wait a minute, I didn't go.
Oh, okay. My fault. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I don't think Forest Locks mentioned anything either.
Yeah, I haven't.
You did? Which
I
one?
figured you guys.
No, I said I haven't mentioned one.
Oh, okay. I figured you guys just jump in. But go ahead, Chentai.
All right. I'm gonna say Growlancer like last time.
Okay.
Because, like I mentioned before, like I wanted the first Growlancer game to get finally localized because it never did. But the ones that we still got, like 2 through 5, well, maybe not 5 so much. 5 was the weakest one, but 2 through 4 especially, really great games. And they're games that people don't really talk about. And unfortunately, when they released Growlancers 2 and 3, it actually spelled the end for working designs because Sony wouldn't let them release the games individually. They forced them to release both games as one purchase, which is great. It's a great deal. It's an amazing deal because you're getting these 2 huge games for the price of one. But unfortunately, working designs weren't able to recover from that. But which is really sad. But I would say to please go out of your way and get Growlancer Generations, which comes with 2 and 3. They're both amazing games, and they don't get talked about as much.
So what is it? The battle system? Battle system's really good. Like what? Like the story's good. Like
everything.
Turn-based or is it action?
It's turn-based. But
Is
although
it like the
it's
Actress
not,
War games, like the battle system?
it's not a traditional turn-based system. It's kind of interesting. It's more like a more akin to like a real-time strategy almost, but you still take turns kind of. It's weird, but it's I would say to just look up some gameplay footage of what the battles look like because I've never seen anything like it. But it's really fun, and the characters are all really likable, and the stories for both games are really interesting. A lot of political intrigue, and the gameplay is really fun. The ring system, which you learn new skills and you can equip new skills as well, is also really good. Just all around, both games are really great. The only thing is like 2 and 3 play kind of differently in that 2 is more like it feels a lot more like Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire Emblem in the sense that like you don't really explore the world. It's like you look at the map and you point where you want to go. But then they changed it for the 3rd game where you actually get to walk around and you can explore the world as much as you want in the world map. So you get like 2 pretty different games in that sense. But yes, it's really good
for it right now. It looks like something I can actually play right now. Actually,
They are good games. Growlancer 4 Away for a Time is especially good.
I haven't gotten around to playing that one, unfortunately.
You create your own city in that game, because I did. You can build your own base of people that can help you with items and weapons and stuff like that. So the more people you recruit in your town, it affects your overall experience in the game. It's quite good. Quite good. But here's a game that I'm actually going to mention that may surprise all of you because I picked this up actually recently. It's an older game. And I was playing it off and on all through this time recently. So the one I feel is underrated, personally, is Kardia, the Word of Fate for the PS1.
Kardia, the World of Fate?
It was released by Atlas. It's a RPG simulator. This game actually plays very similar to some of the PSP releases that came out, where you had your core group of like troops. You control like multiple people, but in this case, this game you control up to 20 different people in your in your party, and it has a lot of incorporated type of elements where you have to command and you have to give out different abilities to these different characters, because basically you're in a war. The whole premise of this game is that you're actually in a war with opposing country, and you're trying to defend your country from being taken over. And the game, I'm about probably 10 hours into the game right now, 10 or 15 hours in. But the thing about this game that I like about it the most is that I never heard anyone talk about it. That's one of the things that
I never heard about
shocked
it
me.
until now.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it now. It looks like Final Fantasy
Yeah.
Tactics. Like
Yeah,
the
it
art
does.
style.
I'm like, this
That's
is like
actually
the thing I
the
play on my
example I was
phone.
gonna bring up. It's got a fully, detailed FMVs to explain the story, although now they've kind of aged badly. But they're fully FMV story cutscenes. The typical elemental arts that they do where they're FMV built into the gameplay is really cool. So the magic abilities are done through FMV, but they're built in. So it adds to that kind of experience of the battle. It's really quite good. The music's very catchy. You can create your own weapons. You can create armor. You can create magic. You can even create monsters that actually fight alongside the actual humans in the game too. So it has
Sounds
a
like
monster
RPG Maker.
crafting system in it. The game's great. Like the overall, just the intricacy of the game is just quite remarkable to me. I was like, holy crap! No one talks about this game, and it's amazing. But the problem with this game is it's expensive. Very, very expensive.
Because people never knew about it, and it probably didn't even sell. How much is it for? That's it. Damn! What the fuck?
It's expensive. I got lucky. And found my
$86
copy for
on
like
Amazon.
$12.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I would
Go
sell
get the
that.
prices. Let them know. It's expensive,
Jesus
man.
Christ! Yeah, I ain't about that life.
How much are they going for? What did you see?
On Amazon, I see $186.
Yeah, it's not a cheap game. I can tell you right now, if you get lucky and you run across it for what I paid for, which probably is going to be very rare, to see it that cheap, get it because it is actually very good.
Oh, I'm gonna get it and sell it if I can. Shit,
But yeah, it's a good game. I mean, I was actually letting Shintai know about it because he had never played it. I don't think. But yeah, it's a good game. Like to me, it's underrated, especially underrated. Now, I think it's more or less just people don't know about the game, and people that do know about it are selling for outrageous prices. But it's a good game though. Like if we exclude the pricing of the game, it's actually good. It's actually a good game.
See, that's my advantage because I live in Germany and people don't know shit about games worth, and that's the reason I could get this. I don't know, maybe for $20 or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know if it came out over there or not though. It might have. I don't know.
There are a lot of PlayStation 1 games here. We have a lot of goods and bads and.
Alrighty, so let's move. Wait, everybody got a chance, right? I don't want to go over people here. Most
Yeah,
appreciate it. Yeah, I think we all got a chance on that one. I think we got one more topic to get through, and best female in a JRPG.
Kaine!
I knew it! To be fair, she is fucking
Nier is
great.
banned.
To be
Okay,
fair,
I
though,
see.
she is fucking great. Give that to him. She is fucking
Thank
great.
you. Thank you.
Oh my god, you Nier people. You guys. You guys
Once you,
I say-
dude, once you play the game, you're gonna come right over to our side.
Yeah, once you get to the title screen, you'll be like, all right, yeah, she's the greatest of all time.
Oh
really-
no. Oh, no.
think.
That's what I actually fear. Nier is indoctrinating us. I fear that.
We're all gonna be converted to
I
Nier.
really can't think of one. I can't think of one right now.
Nier converts.
Join the House of Nier. Oh my god.
Is that a new religion?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I can't think of a character right now.
I know it's really hard for like female.
It's
Yeah.
difficult. I would have to say the one that I think had great development over the course of. God, I can't believe I'm going back to this game. It's 13, which is probably have to be Lightning, I guess. I don't really so much like the character, but I think through her sister and through Snow,
Mm.
and in that relationship that she has with them, the struggles that she went through and she had to face, I think made her a memorable character in my book, I guess. I wouldn't say she's my favorite, but she's the only one that stands out to me.
I didn't really care about Lightning's character. I like Lightning, I guess, but
Yeah, I think like
I respect Lightning. Yeah, she's a cool character, but like her character, her overarching character, I didn't really care for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those like or dislikes in terms of how she's presented, but I think because of the position she was put in, makes her a good character.
Okay.
I think she has a badass attitude, but there's like no depth or substance to her.
Yeah,
The only
I
thing
think
I can think of it
it's
about
like
it
she's trying to be
is
Cloud.
yeah. The only thing I can think about is her stupid clothing style. I mean, look at what she wears. It's a turtleneck, but it bears midriff and it has no stilts. It's where did you buy something like that?
Well, character design, that's a two in the more. I think that's him.
She probably bought it from the
No,
from the
that's-
Moogle store.
Oh my god.
That would
Well,
explain anything.
Oh my god. My favorite female character, which I'm probably gonna get technical here, is Cosmos from XenoSaga.
You know
Oh
what?
yeah.
You know what, dude? I didn't even think about that, but Cosmos is a badass character.
Yeah,
Yes,
she's so
definitely.
She's so awesome.
Xenosaga in general are my three favorite games.
They are great games.
Very good games. Man, Cosmos is badass for all the right reasons, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That one part where she's floating out in space, she breaks through the glass, or rather tries to.
Or the first one where she saves everybody with their big old machine guns.
Or the fight between Telos and Cosmos.
Ah man.
Yeah,
Oh man.
that was awesome.
That was
that was
epic.
back. That was back when Namco Bandai did them epic cutscenes like in Dot Hack and
Oh man,
Xeno Saga.
telling you,
Ah.
man. Xenosaga. I hope they do an HD collection. I hope to God they do.
They were supposed to, but I don't think they got enough fan feedback. for it.
Yeah.
I don't think they got enough.
Oh, it's disappointing, man, because Xenosaga 3 was the shiznick.
It was.
Mhm. It
It was
really
like
was.
one I loved to death.
Xenosaga 1, I liked it. Xenosaga 2, well,
Yeah, 2 was the worst. I
2
think,
had a
of them
good
all.
story. 2 had a good story.
They
It's just-
continued the story
it's
pretty
just
well.
fine.
It's just
Yeah, they-
that everything else.
Yeah, it's just
around
the like the gameplay aspect, like the
it was
combat.
plagued by. Actually, you know what's funny is the gameplay. I didn't like it at first, but the way they tried to do the battle, where you had to like combine different attacks,
Yeah, yeah.
like
I
doing a
remember that.
combo attack.
That was the
like it's a
only
fighting
good
game.
thing about it. Yeah.
It had some cool ideas to it, but man, oh man, let me tell you, the gameplay, dude. Oh,
Exactly.
I remember playing 3 and just freaking loving it, man.
Yeah.
Loving it.
It needs at least to make the freaking PS4 backwards compatible so I could play it on there. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
HD
Xeon.
remaster would be
I think
amazing.
Xeon-
Because
pretty cool.
Monolith Soft is moved on, and then of course Bandai holds some of the rights. I don't think we're
Yeah.
ever going to see it.
Yeah, they don't see it as a profitable thing. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Unfortunately, I would play it again so badly. It's not fair. I try to play it on my PS on my laptop, but it doesn't work out too well.
I still own all 3 of the games.
I'm
But,
missing 2, or do I have 2?
I have all 3, but like I'm missing disc 2, I think, for the second one.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they were.
Oh, you're not missing much. Don't worry. You only have to play the first half. But the story of that game is good because, well, here's what I think. What kind of went wrong was like it was supposed to be 3 games. It was supposed to be. I'm sorry. It was supposed to be 6 games originally.
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
What
6.
they did was in the second game, it was focused around Junior
hmm
and his brother. So every game was supposed to be it was based around certain characters.
Okay.
And what happened was, in the third game, they had to flood everything together. So you got this clash of like a whole lot of crap happening at once. I think they did a good job, considering that they put four
The thing
games
for
into
me
one.
that was weird was like after beating one and you go to the second one, the part in the beginning with the mechs with what's the guy with the gray silver hair?
Chaos.
Chaos, yeah, him and that other guy. That was like a weird transition. Like,
Chaos was probably the most like holy shit! I didn't believe this just
yeah,
happened.
he was a cool character.
His character, when
Yeah,
you beat
I
the
can
third
think about
game,
that.
you're like, wait a minute, this guy was this person really? That was amazing to me because he played that off beautifully. If you think about it, you didn't
Looked like
even
a
know that's
monkey
who this
to me.
person really was until till the end of the game, till the end of all three. God, man, thinking about it now, I gotta play those three games again.
Well, hopefully they release that HD collection.
They
Yeah,
never will.
hopefully.
It won't happen.
it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Going back on topic though, I think a female character in a JRPG that's really underrated and doesn't get enough recognition is Fina from the first Grandia. Anyone's played it? Anyone?
I can't remember much of it.
The
Okay.
old school ones can't remember.
I
Well,
played some of the first Grandia, but I don't remember much of it.
okay. Well, the first Grandia, Fina is an adventurer, and what I think is really cool is the main character. He tries to go out on an adventure, and then he finds out about her and meets her. But when he first meets her, he's still, he's still green. He's still like wet behind the ears, that kind of thing. So he's looking up to her, and he's relying on her at first. But then as the journey goes on, she starts to respect him on the same level, and she starts relying on him as much as like he's relying on her. And I always really liked that relationship, and I always really liked her because she isn't like, because it isn't like a typical sort of female character. She's not like a cleric or a mage or something. No, she is an adventurer. She goes out and she's active and spunky, and I think she just has a really colorful and kind of joyous personality. So I always really liked her, and I don't see people talking about her as much as they should.
It's an old school game. That's probably why.
No, it's a PS1 game. It's not,
Well, it's yeah.
I'd say that people can still go back and enjoy it. It's still a perfectly playable game. I didn't grow up with it. I actually played it after I beat Grandia 3.
That's one of the things. When I hear about Grandia, I don't hear much about Grandia 3.
That's because
There's good reasons why.
I thought Grandia 3 was good.
I like Grandia 3.
No. Grandia 3 is good. The problem with Grandia 3 is by this point, with the whole Squaresoft and Square Enix merger thing going on, it got kind of plagued in obscurity.
well,
The game is good. The game is difficult though. Part of the game starts off easy, and then the game just goes completely hard for no reason.
the game, it's a good
I
game.
think I know what you're talking about. Like just even regular enemies you run into was like pretty tough.
By the end of the game, it got really hard. But the thing is, the reason people don't talk about 3 as much is because even though it's good on its own, when you compare them to 1 and 2, it's just not as good. I mean, it's like comparing like a 9 to like a 7 out of 10. It's like a 7 is fine on its own. It's good for what it is. But then it's like you have these other two which are like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, like fucking amazing. And then it's just like, it's gonna get forgotten about.
Not to mention as well, the game never came out in Europe either.
Oh,
So you have another group of audience that, unless they imported the game or found a way to play it, that's a whole other audience of people that didn't actually give that game any recognition. So that affects it as well.
All right. That's just something I need to know because I thought Grandia 3 was a great game.
Yeah, Grandia 3 was a good game. I actually liked it.
I enjoyed it too.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
I just
I enjoyed it.
Is a problem. I don't think enough people played it.
Because I think I got to like the second disc or something like that, and I just stopped. I don't know. I don't even know why. I think
The game's got too hard for
When
me.
you got to the second disc, for me,
I think I know
people started
why.
getting hard.
I think I know why.
Why?
The music for the regular battles in the first disc is amazing, and then they changed it in the second disc. And it's not a bad song, but it's nowhere near as hype.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as epic.
Remember that opening? Remember the beginning song in the game when he's flying in the plane?
Yeah.
It was kind of cheesy.
Yeah, it was. That was some
Which is weird because like the music in the game itself is really good.
Yeah, that was like the most weirdest, most awkward song for that type of game.
But like,
I will say this though, I did pick up Grandia 2 on the PC.
It's good.
It's so good.
You gotta get it. It's $10 right now. I don't know about you guys.
Get it, dude. Get it. It's so good.
The music is amazing too.
Yeah, it is. But see, I own the Dreamcast version with the soundtrack CD. I still have it.
Offer ends in 39 hours. I don't know.
Do it. It's good.
Area is still staring at me.
It's worth getting it, man. I think, especially if you want to play more PC games, I would get that one.
I think I'm gonna get it sometime down the line. I can't get it now. I can't.
Dude, give me your fucking Steam or whatever. I'll give it to you.
Hey, if you want, that'd be great. Not until I beat Zestiria.
That was yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Zestiria is pretty awesome, so I mean, I can't really blame you.
Yeah, I can't move on to another game without.
I gotta have free enabled.
All right, so everybody got their best female character out of the way.
I couldn't really think of one. The only one I like had the top of my head was Sophie from Tales of Grace's F. I liked her character. She was pretty cool, like especially because her whole character basically was the tie to bring all the other characters together every time they felt lost or got separated. And I love the opening scene in the beginning when they were young, kind of like the prologue to the game, how she saved them all. I like that.
I agree.
I thought she was like, well, she was like quiet, wasn't she? She was really quiet.
She was like quiet, but she talked a lot more than a real like a quiet character. So I liked her character. I liked her.
I gotta go back and play.
The problem with characters like that is it immediately calls back to Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah, the OG.
But with Sophie, I'd say she's different enough to where, like, you could say, like, yeah, that quiet side of her is, like, somewhat inspired, but I don't think anyone would go as far as say, like, she's a ripoff.
Yeah, no, she definitely feels like a little more original than some of the other characters like that.
Like Persea in Symphonia, I would almost go as far as almost go as far as call her ripoff. Not quite. I wouldn't go quite that far, but compared to Sophie feels much more original.
So plus Sophie was a cool character to play as. Like I could play through the whole game as her. She was a fun character.
She was. She's like
I can't do that with Tales of games. I can't play as anybody else in a Tales of game except for the main character.
I'm with you.
I like
either.
I can't do it. So like I'll experiment sometime when I'm bored doing some grinding, but I'll just stick with the main character.
I typically will maybe once do it, but ultimately I don't know. I guess the Tales games I've played, I've always just stuck with the main character because I'm so used to playing RPGs where you're forced to play as a main character for.
I think Zelia was the best. They all really felt like different characters.
Yeah, I kind of messed around with them a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Zelia really did the characters a little bit better than some of the other Tales games.
Alrighty. So,
I didn't, but I cannot really think about something. I guess something like Tifa, the best three things of Final Fantasy VII, but no.
Well, there are two big reasons Tifa is awesome. So.
Well, there's a third reason, because I think she has personality and actually carries the whole game, but that's just my opinion.
No, I mean, she's a good character.
Yeah, I mean, at least she has no breakdown moment where she forgets that she can walk. That was a stupid moment.
Oh,
I felt embarrassed about that.
Well, he went through a pretty traumatic experience, so
Yeah, but
can you blame the
the
guy?
fun fact, no, but the fun fact is that Square Enix maybe forgot about that, and that's the reason we're stuck with Advent Children.
Advent Children isn't that.
It
I like
felt
Advent
like
Children.
it felt like rehashing the whole game and just reversing Cloud back to the emo character he was before, and the problem I saw was it was just fan wank. This is Final Fantasy fan wank the movie.
That's interesting.
Also, the intro revealed some of the most problematic parts of the whole game, but this is spoiler territory, and I think it's not worth it. But just say the opening of a movie gives you some interesting questions about the game, like why the fuck did I do it if it resolved itself? You know what I mean.
Remember,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember the fight between Sephiroth and Cloud.
That's what all remember.
That's about it.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we went pretty long here. How long has it been?
Been at this a while.
Can't even tell. I actually have one more topic if you guys want to do one. One
Might
more.
as well.
Why not?
Okay. All right,
Into
so what's the best mini game you've guys played in the JRPG?
Best mini game?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with well, it's a tie really, but I'll say Blitzball and Final Fantasy X.
Hell no!
Yes.
I spent like a week on Blitzball, and I still couldn't beat it, and I just gave up on the game completely.
Why? How? It's pretty simple.
I was like at the first game when you were Waka, and you wanted to win. Apparently, you could win.
Yeah, you could win.
I've
You could definitely win.
You know what's funny? I've actually done that first Blitzball tournament you go to. I've done that and beaten it, and the only thing different at the end of it is one of the characters holds a trophy. That's the only difference.
You also get a strength sphere.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Hmm.
No, now I think about it, when I play the PS4 version, I'm gonna try to beat it again.
I want to re-get that on PS4 again too.
I mean, hey, $4 can't beat that for Black Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, my favorite video mini game is. It's not because it's a good mini game, just because conceptually it's awesome. And that's in Final Fantasy VII when you're on the motorcycle and you're like slashing dudes.
Yeah.
I hated that
That's
with
a
a
good
passion.
It's. I'm not saying it's good as a mini game. I'm saying like the idea of it is so awesome.
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine that when they do the PS4 remake and the mini game's there?
They probably will remove that.
I mean, just think about it. Like, if that was done well, just think about it. Cloud riding a motorcycle, fucking like wrecking the motorcycle's necks in with his giant sword. That is just, that's so cool.
Man, now that would be an interesting racing game.
Well, they tried to do
Oh
it.
my
They
gosh.
tried to have it separate.
I can see Final
freaking
Fantasy doing a
phone.
racing game with all Final Fantasy characters.
Why
Oh,
not?
no,
Mario
we don't need, no.
Yeah.
That would be a nightmare. I'm good.
Yeah.
I can see him doing it.
Kind
Can
of
you imagine
weird.
Final Fantasy 15 having a racing game where you go across the... Wait, never mind. I take that back.
I actually can't imagine that.
I mean, they do it in the actual game where you ride across the country, around the whole world.
Exactly.
Yeah, forget it.
Oh my goodness. So, anybody else have anything in mind for best mini game?
I
I
was
can't
actually
think.
going to say the card game that they had in Final Fantasy 9 was not half bad.
I prefer the card game from 8.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
yeah, me
I
too.
mean,
Yeah.
most people say 8's better, but I remember playing that more in 9. I'm not saying it was great, but I genuinely had some fun with it.
They actually released a card set for playing it in the real world. Interesting.
They did.
Which one?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, a friend of mine actually owned a copy from that. It was fun.
Is it the 8 or 9 version of the card
The
game?
9 version.
Oh, really?
The 8 they didn't make wasn't that popular.
Oh, that's interesting.
My
I
problem
know
with
9
the
though.
one,
I
my,
say that just because I don't know, that area you go to in that one town where you go in that tournament thing. I think it's what I first started playing it. It was quite good.
my problem with the card game in 9 is I always feel like it's unreliable because it only has like these little arrows in the corners, while compared to an 8, it felt a lot more concrete of like, okay, I lost because this is an 8 and this other side is a 9, so obviously it's a higher number, so it's going to beat it out. But in 9, I never really quite understood like why sometimes I won and sometimes I didn't.
Mm. All right. Did anybody play the mini game in XenoSaga?
Wait,
That was a
which one was that
card-based
again?
Well, light me on it because I don't remember.
Yeah, what was that?
Basically they had cards of each character, and you could attack directly or something like that. I can't remember. I can't explain it specifically, but I knew
You know,
I
I
spent a
actually
lot of
didn't
remember that.
even know there was a mini game in Xenosaga 1.
Oh.
Because I played the game so much. Where did you have to go to play the mini game?
I think you can access it from the save spot.
Oh, it's
I don't remember
okay because that's
exactly.
when you go back to the other previous areas to level grind, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, I must not have did it then.
I remember spending a lot of hours on that one.
I even man, it's funny how you play games. You think you know everything, and then you find out you don't.
That's too many.
That's a great
Alright.
thing about games. You can keep coming back to them, and if they're really good, you'll find out new things even years
Yep.
later.
Yep.
That's one of the things I can't do nowadays. I can't go back and play a game over again. I don't know why.
You
I can't
know,
do it nowadays.
that's funny you bring that up, and I know we've been going off topic like crazy. I'm gonna make it very brief, but I have this problem with games nowadays where I just can't go back and play them again. Like every JRPG that I've played that I've beaten of current gen and maybe PS3 generation, I just can't see myself going back to them again.
Yeah, even in the future, I can't even.
Yeah, only
see
thing I
myself
could see me going
to
back
it.
to is like if it's like a past previous gen. Like I can probably go back. I feel like playing something on the PS2 again or the PS1.
Yeah,
but-
exactly. Yeah.
There's only one game that has the exception to the rule. The only series that has the exception. And that's
Years.
Persona. Persona 4,
Gosh.
mainly Persona 4 Golden.
There you
And
go.
if
Oh.
Persona 5 meets expectations, it'd probably be one of the other ones.
It will.
Well, I think I have an explanation for that. I mean, I think it's because all the games that you guys are talking about are, like mostly like the PS1 generation, or like before that with the SNES and the Genesis. And I think it's because those games are older and we were a lot younger when we played them. So by now, it almost feels like we're playing a new game if we decide to go back to them. But it's been too soon with these other games, like on the PS3 and PS4 or whatever. So I feel like maybe 10 years from now, we may look back on like games on the PS3 or PS4 with the same sort of nostalgia that we see games from 2 generations ago. And then by then,
I don't know about
I
that.
thought that same thing, Shentai, but you know what, though? It's something about those games, man. And I tell you what, this is what I have this kind of feeling I have with Persona 4 and Persona 3. And
Persona franchise. Yeah.
Those games, as well as like some of the other ones I've played, there's a certain type of style about those games that I just can't get myself from never wanting to play it again because I have to play it again. Like when Persona 4 Golden came out for the Vita, I knew I had to play it again. Not because of the extra content, but because it's just a good game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that I have with, okay, like, perfect example. I like the Tales series. Don't get me wrong. But after beating 1, I can't see myself playing it again.
So I want to
see,
play Xenoblade again, but I don't see myself going back to playing it again at all.
The thing about those
I'm
types of games
completely
that-
different. I can very easily see myself going back and beating like Zillia or something because it was a good game and I really liked it, and I feel like I can go back to it and still have a good time.
I liked Zillia, and I like Xillia too, but I don't get the same feeling I get when I played Persona 4 when I first time I played it.
Well,
No.
they're not the same kind of game, so I wouldn't
They're not the same
compare them anyway.
Oh yeah, because one is clearly epic and the other one is just good.
It's a good. No, I'm saying exactly. It's saying it's a good.
That's a shitty thing to say.
Don't get me wrong. They're good games, but I feel like a lot of JRPGs are stuff we've experienced before. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know what he means.
I want to go back and play Vesperia so badly, but I can't do that because I don't have a 360. Xbox
If it came
One
on
doesn't have
PS3,
it.
I'd replay that again.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I definitely would too.
Xbox One.
I love Persona as well, but can we be real here? And it's not like Persona's fucking perfect, okay?
I never,
no.
I'm sorry, what?
I never said it was perfect. I never said it was perfect. It's just there's just something about those games that gives me the feeling of replaying them again, even if it's been a year.
There's different ways you can go back to playing Persona. Like you can play it a completely different way. What gives it that lasting power compared to some of these other JRPGs.
Yeah, that's how it is for me. I have to
the social link aspect and just the idea of being able to go to different jobs. Like the way the game is played, you can play it year by year differently.
Yeah, that's what it is for me. If I can play something a little bit different, for me, I said to myself I would go back and play Tales of Xillia 2 with 1 with Mila because I played the whole thing just being
right.
Jew.
I
said I was going to do the whole thing.
Play as.
Yeah.
Storyline different. I played as I believe Mila first, so I would play Jude the second time when I played again. So that's exception right there.
Yeah, that's the thing. It has to be a little bit of stuff you can unlock or something that you can do differently as opposed to playing it the first time around.
Right. I couldn't see myself playing 13 again, if that makes sense. FF13.
Well, 13
I actually want to play Final Fantasy 13 again, just to see how it is now. I mean,
yeah, it's been a long time for me.
It's been a while, so I want to see if it's maybe I'm just giving it shit for no reason sometimes.
Sometimes, I think Shintai said this before a long time back, sometimes it's good to give a game another chance, just kind of get away from it for a while, and then go back to it. And that's usually good for a lot of games, because sometimes when you get that initial reaction to it, it's I'm not really feeling it. Maybe you have to get in the mood to really actually get into it.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
That kind of works for not finishing a game. I know that. I've
done that many a times where I'll be halfway through a game, won't touch it for a year, and then I'll
exactly.
Yeah, it looks like I did with Freedom Wars just now.
Freedom Wars, I actually want to play that. I have it, but I like it, and I just kind of put it down.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did, but I just picked it back up for some reason, and I'm loving it right now.
That's what I'm doing with Ys Memories Celceta.
Oh, that game is great.
Yeah, Memories of Celceta, I'm getting into that too.
I did that too. I did that with Celceta too. I came back to that after a year.
I really do that with handheld PS Vita games.
Yeah, man, playing it on my big TV, Celceta is awesome.
Yeah, I'm playing it now.
But I gotta go with what Shintai said. What's not perfect about the Persona games?
Well,
Okay.
I guess it's the linearity and the fact that you are in full control at some days. That is
Okay.
what I think is not the best, but I can live with that.
I'd like to consider myself someone who's reasonable and tries to look at things for what they are. And can we just be real and say that the silent protagonists in 3 and 4, them being silent is really annoying sometimes.
You know what? I never had that problem with those games. I had a problem with the protagonist in Xillia too, though.
I sometimes feel as though...
You cannot sit there and tell me that there weren't at least a few times in the game where you were frustrated that the character should have responded in a certain way and they didn't.
Yeah,
no,
that's what I was going to say.
I just feel like the main character is like God. Like he can do anything, and he can get whatever he wants.
I hate feeling as though man, I wish I had said this that time, and I hate when I do that.
I remember towards the end of Persona 3, the main character, all the other characters were telling him what are you doing, and he's just kind of walking off on his own, because he's walking towards something, and I'm just just fucking say something. What are you doing?
See, the thing with me is that I've come to expect Persona series, especially 3 and 4, to have a silent protagonist. I accepted that. So going into that, being that they are that way, it never bothered me. But Xenoblade 2 was the opposite, where going with a character that had full voice, and then going to the game where he was not, that actually bugged me more than anything.
And then after you played the damn game and he unlocked his voice, that just, what the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. Like, no. Persona 3 and 4, when anything happened in a game, whether it be minuscule or whether it be an important aspect to the story, I never once said, oh my god, I wish he'd said something instead of just being silent. I never had that thought.
Oh, I don't know how you couldn't, because it happened to me several times. I find your comparison to Xillia 2 to be really strange, because Xillia 2 handled it much better than either Persona games, because Luger emoted.
I think it comes down to how you feel about it. Me personally, I don't have a problem with it.
But the thing is, Luger actually emoted. Even though he didn't talk that much, he actually had emotions, and when something happened, you could actually see it on his face, and he was reacting to it. In Personas 3 and 4, that doesn't ever happen.
Well, here's the thing I want to ask. I want to say about it. I think the silent protagonist problem is way worse in Persona 3 than it is in 4. Because in Persona 3, the main character is so detached from the world he lives in. He's just a muscle for hire, actually. You are not involved in anything. You're just sitting around a lot of times. It's actually so hard that in the PSP version you can actually replace him with a girl. That never happened anywhere else I saw that.
Well, let's think outside of the box. Let me think outside of the box here, okay? I could see it being a problem if you try to compare silent protagonists like Xenoblade 2 versus 3 and 4, where at least in that game there was some facial expression given to the situation that occurred.
Yeah.
Certain actions that did happen. I will admit that that was there, but understand it from this perspective. When the developers made Persona 3, it was to allow you to be the person that has the expression. It may not be physically in the game, obviously.
Yeah.
But this is how you would react towards that given situation, how you felt about that situation, and the options that were presented to you was what you were thinking at that time.
That never really bothered me.
I don't really agree with that.
This is just my... I'm not saying I'm speaking for everyone. It's just how I see it.
But I can see where you're coming from. I know what you think. That's okay.
Well, in the Persona 4 anime, they actually gave Yu Narukami a voice and his own personality, and it worked really well.
Yeah.
Well, again, that was an anime. That was to be kind of expected.
But if they just took that personality that he had in the anime and they put it in Persona 4, I think it would have made it a lot better.
Now, let's ask this question. If Persona 5 is a fully voiced main character, would you accept that?
Yes.
I would.
I wouldn't care either way. Like, I've played way too many RPGs with like a silent pro. I've played a game where nobody talked, and I still didn't feel like it took anything away.
That's the thing. Is like,
from the game.
Is this a problem? I don't personally think it's a problem whether the character's voiced or not in Persona, because I'm used to it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I'd rather not have a silent protagonist, to be honest. I'd rather have somebody that talks.
Xenoblade 2, I had a problem with it, because every Tales game I played, had a main character that spoke. And going in Xenoblade 2 where it was not was a bit shocking to me.
Well, the thing was, Xillia 2 was a very experimental game in general. It did a lot of things that we had never seen before in the Tales game. So I think... Yes, was it different and was it kind of shocking? Sure, but I think it's justified in that instance because the game was doing so many things that we had never seen before that in and of itself made it fit and it made it work.
Okay, that still doesn't change the fact I didn't like it.
You don't have to like it, but I'm explaining it so that you can understand.
No, I understand it fully, dude. I understand it as an experimental game. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, with regards to Persona, it was something that already was done. It's just the way it was.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere.
That's just how they made the game. I'm not going to change how they perceive it that way. And hey, it still was received well. Yeah, people didn't like it, but the game overall was well received. Obviously, Persona 5 is going to come out, so that gives a clue right there that it wasn't a problem. Granted, at this point now, should it be continued as a silent protagonist going forward, remains to be seen. I don't know. We just have to see what happens.
I'd rather have a protagonist that talks. I don't care for the silent protagonist thing. I really
No,
don't.
I mean, I'm not going to say that it's good or not. Because when you look at games nowadays, you expect to have a main character that speaks.
I think
That's
the whole
understandable.
silent protagonist thing is a relic of the past that needs to just stop.
Die.
There isn't a need to
Yeah,
have.
but
Well,
we're
it's-
actually getting a new problem because now we have talking silent protagonists because a lot of characters are just figures you can project yourself on, and this is in fiction, this is in games. It's all over the place, and we're not creating new characters. It's not that they are silent; it's just they need a personality because.
No,
That's what
personality, not
that was.
the silent protagonist.
Do you guys have a problem with creating your own character as a main character?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
No,
like.
I
I
don't.
don't like. I don't like it when they
create
have
my own
to.
characters.
The reason why I bring that up is because Xenoblade Chronicles X is going to have that.
Oh, I'll probably be spending like 5 hours in the character creation. So
Yeah, like that's the thing. I don't like doing that in God Eater because like it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. Like I don't really care how my character looks or anything in any of those types of games. Like in what is it, Freedom Wars or.
I care about how my character.
No,
I'll be looking at them for like 40, 50 hours.
There are some games where creating a character works. You know,
Yeah.
But I mean, like if they follow the formula where all JRPGs had that formula, I don't know if I would like that.
No,
I wouldn't
all
like it if
not,
it was
but-
direct,
yeah, I
if it
wouldn't
was
like
the
that.
norm.
You know what? Actually, I said that like silent protagonists should just die altogether. I think I'm going to retract that because the Souls games have silent protagonists, and it works in that. And it works for them for what they're trying to do with that.
Yeah.
And a lot of Western RPGs, like the stuff that Bethesda does,
Yeah.
although it seems that they stopped. Like
Really
Fallout- I
comes
think
down
Fallout
to
4
at the
they
end of
stopped.
the day what the developers are going for. That's just what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So I will retract that and say like silent protagonists can work, but it really does depend on what they're going for.
Yeah.
My
And
whole
I
thing. Oh,
Persona's,
go on. Go on.
and I think in Persona's case, it doesn't work. That's
Well, you gotta understand, these games have already came out and already passed. Going forward, should Persona 5 be that way? If it is, we got to see if the
I
game
think it
works
will
with it
be.
being a silent protagonist. If not, then we just got to see, hey, did it work?
I hope it does.
There's games where I feel like a character should be talking. Like, I'm gonna use The Legend of Zelda, even though it's not a JRPG before the comment section attacks me. There's something about Zelda, like the way it's going, how it's cinematic now, and then like he'll be attacking or something in a cutscene, and then the game will just pause for you to have to read it instead of just keeping it going. So if the game is going to be like cinematic like that, yes, it needs voice acting. But if it's just like static images on the screen for the most part, I think it's fine either way, really.
Yeah, it really just comes down to your preference at that point.
Yeah.
Or the type of game it is.
Right, that too.
Okay, guys, I gotta stop you here because Walking Dead is coming on, and I gotta watch
Oh
it.
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
So,
for me, it's back to Super Mario Maker, baby.
I need to eat
Mario
my
Maker.
dinner.
I'm so sleepy. I am a Walking Dead.
Dude, I worked almost 70 hours this week. I feel like I'm
Damn,
walking
bro,
dead.
what the freak?
Yeah.
70 hours.
The last 4 or 5 weeks, I've been working on average 64 to 73 hours.
Okay.
I ain't about that life.
That's
40
one of the
hours.
main reasons, man.
That's
like
it.
when it comes to my videos, I've been trying my best to make them, but man, it's hard when you work more hours than you can sleep.
I feel you. After I get home from work, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
All right, so I gotta watch Walking Dead. Let's start with the outros. Who wants to go first?
I'll take it. So hey guys, it's Blandrew here. If you like Japanese games, JRPGs, and just discussing video game topics, come to my channel. Check me out, Blandrew. That's it.
Also near.
Oh, yeah, and Nier too. Yeah, it's gonna be a plug. If you haven't played Nier, go out and play it. Hidden Gem, one of the best games of last year.
Forrest.
Well, I'm Forrest, aka Forrest Reviews, and aka Forrest Gaming HD. Forrest Gaming HD is where you can find my unboxing videos on mostly box sets or game consoles. Every so often I'll do something different on that channel, but it's mostly camera-related videos for that channel. So that's where my gaming camera-related videos are. Also, Force Reviews is where I do my reviews are going to be on that channel. So if you're into game reviews, whenever I have downtime, when I'm not busy working, that's where I'll do my highly edited game reviews are going to be there.
Souls?
Okay, my channel name is Solo Souls, and I usually go by Souls, like I said. And I kind of been on hiatus for a while, but I should be uploading soon. If the people that like it, I'm going to be uploading some more J-Stars videos soon. So be looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. Nightmare?
I'm Nightmare Alpha. I'm doing anything media related. And you can find me on Twitter and YouTube and stuff. Just type in my name. You will find something. But mostly German stuff, and yeah. Also, check out the other guys.
Shintai?
It's Shintai, Shintai Reviews. You can also find me on Twitter at Shintai Reviews. And just, hit me up, talk to me on Twitter if you want to just chat or whatever. But on my channel, I review JRPGs and action games, and that's mainly my bread and butter. If you want to hit me up with that kind of stuff, I'll be there for you.
All right, and of course, it's the JRPG enthusiast, Shadow Elite. And we out of here, guys. Peace. I'm really trying to write this up because I want to watch Walking Dead.